推荐，好不好？好，那以上是跟大家分享，因为这3家其实都还蛮平价，你想吃，我心中觉得好吃的版本，你可以去这3家吃吃看。好，那接下来我们就来进入我们今天的主题啦。今天第一个主题来跟大家聊聊总体经济的一个话题，就是美国的经济到底能不能顺利的软着陆成功？那为什么会想聊这个话题呢？是因为上个礼拜周末呢，《华尔街日报》连出2篇报道，这2篇报道都在讲软着陆，所以我们来看这2篇报道讲什么。第一篇报道的标题是说，市场目前看起来是相信联准会有能力让经济软着陆的。那这篇文章的重点是说，华尔街的共识呢，目前正在相信通膨正在衰减，而且也认为联准会是很有机会能够在不发生经济衰退的状况之下，就成功的把通膨打下来。基本上，我们可以从股市目前的反应就可以看出，投资人目前对于软着陆是相当有信心的。而今年美国股市到目前的表现相当的亮丽，也代表说，其实投资人似乎已经不太认为会经济衰退了。那这个是第一篇标题。它基本上是从华尔街的共识以及从股市的表现来看，市场认为联准会能够让经济软着陆。那第二篇呢？是来自于华尔街日报他们自己做的一个经济学家的一个的问卷的一个调查。这篇的文章的标题是说，经济学家正在消减他们认为衰退会发生的几率。因为华尔街日报它会定期对于这些所谓的学院派以及在机构内的经济学家做问卷调查，而去调查什么？认为说你认为未来12个月内会发生衰退几率？会不会发生衰退？他去做这个调查。这个调查呢，上一次发布是在今年4月。今年4月的时候，有61% 的经济学家认为未来12个月会发生经济衰退，61%，超过半数，对不对？到了7月份公布的这个数据呢，这个数字从61%降到54%，也就是说有7% 的经济学家改变看法了。这7% 的经济学家在4月份的时候还觉得经济未来12个月经济会衰退，但是他们到7月的时候开始觉得不会衰退。当然啦，说真的，54% 的数字还是超过一半，对不对？而且以华尔街日报有做这个调查的历史记录来讲，这个数字还是在高点。不过当然它还是出现下降的一个状况。那这里面经济学家的看法的改变的几个重要的关键，当然第一个通膨的降低，对不对？我们讲过。第二个是就业市场目前看起来呢仍然相当强劲。以及最重要的是，美国经济展现出非常强大的韧性，好像没有那么容易就进入衰退。那对照我在这个礼拜周末，因为大家知道我英文的 podcast 我必听的就是 All In Podcast 嘛，那它通常在台湾时间礼拜5晚上或礼拜6早上上线。所以呢，在这个周末我也听了最新的一集的 All In Podcast， 然后我就听他们4个主持人呢聊到同一个话题就是说，美国的经济是不是真的会 soft landing 呢？那大家知道这4个主持人，他们基本上都是第一个，他们都是创投家，他们也都是有至少几个人他们都有实业家的经验，他们都有真正在工作的经验。他们无论是做创投，或者甚至在做一些资本市场投资，也都是非常有经验的。所以他们的看法，我一直也蛮喜欢参考。而之前呢，你如果回到大概半年前，这四个人基本上都认为美国经济应该会走到衰退，都会，只是到底衰退的程度会多大，不太确定，有可能会重挫。那至少像乔马斯·帕里哈提或者 David Sachs 都认为会重挫。可是呢，他们在这一期的节目呢，在这个礼拜节目也说，其实美国经济的 resilient 韧性是超过预期的，也就是说，看起来美国经济还是很强。所以我们接下来就来聊今天的第一个话题，叫做到底美国经济会不会软着陆？那讨论这个话题之前，我们先来定义什么叫做软着陆，因为软着陆相对就是硬着陆。那什么叫软着陆呢？我们给它一个简单的定义，就是说，如果今天通膨能够降低，但是 GDP 却没有衰退，经济却没有衰退，它可能就是一个软着陆。举个例子来讲，像美国的 GDP，那你如果看过去 maybe 10年左右。你会认为一个预设的 GDP 的值大概会是在2%，就是每年比前一年经济成长的2%。那比较高的时候就2.3、2.5、2.7那比较低的时候可能就叫1.6、1.8那但是就是平均来讲看 ，maybe 是2%的概念而什么叫做软着陆呢？就是我现在联总会 出招，然后把经济降温，可是却没有降到负成长哦。GDP 的成长 maybe 从原本预期的2% 掉到 maybe 0到0.5% 之间哦。就举个例，0.1%、0.2%，那0.1% 跟0.2%这种数字比起2%当然是减缓很多，可是它没有真正进入衰退啊。在这种状况之下呢，就是我们所谓的软着陆。那相反的呢，如果 GDP 掉到负0.5%、负1%，这种就是可能的硬着陆哈。那当然啦，我觉得另外一个可以参考的指标 ，maybe 失业率也是一个可以参考的指标。目前美国的现在失业率大概在3.6% 左右啊，所以如果这个失业率在整个通膨被打下去之后，它仍然 maybe 压在低于4.5%，可能举个例4.3、4.2%，这样的失业虽然比3.6% 高，可是也以美国的经济历史来讲，也算是很健康啊，算是低一点的水位，所以这样状况也算是经济没有受到很大的伤害，也可以称之为软着陆了。好，那所以呢，我们定义完软着陆，就我来看，就基本上就是2个指标，第一个指标是 GDP 不要掉到负值，第二个指标就是失业率不要超过4.5%。这2个状况之下，其实只要通膨顺利的降温，然后联储会甚至可以开始降息了，然后美国顺利的走过这一波的高通膨危机，可能就可以称之为软着陆。这个走法有没有可能呢？那我们来看呢，这个走法有个最理想的剧本，所以我现在开始编故事讲故事。最理想的剧本是，我们现在看首先我们要先了解最正确的通膨的概念。我们在上个礼拜6月份的 CPI 出来，所以我们说这次的通膨很漂亮，对不对？可是大家不要忘记，我们一直告诉大家，联准会看的通膨不是 CPI， 而是 PCE 这是2个不同的通膨编制的方法，所以我们要看联准会的想法，还是得看 PCE。那 PCE 现在 PCE 跟 CPI 一样，都有分整体的 PCE 跟所谓的 Core PCE 核心的 PCE。那你如果是我们节目的忠实观众或听众，你就知道，其实我一直告诉大家了，联总会没有在看那个总体的通膨他看的都是核心通膨所以事实上我们要看的就是 Core PCE。那不过我必须跟大家讲一件事你觉得 Core PCE 在过去这一阵子有降很多吗？其实是没有我接下来给大家看一个图片这个图片呢就是 Core PCE，这个 Core PCE 近期的一个数字把它叫出来。好，我们现在 Core PCE 放在这个画面上，你去看这个图呢，它是从那个通膨开始前到通膨后，你有发现 Core PCE 其实是没有怎么掉的。Core 就是不像我们现在看到这种所谓的名目 CPI、名目 PCE， 它已经连续好几个月都在快速下滑。你会发现 Core PCE 在过去这6个月几乎是维持在原点。现在从今年1月份1、2、3，去年12月1、12、1、2、3、4、5，这6个月 Core PCE 的数据都维持在4.6到4.7% 区间，也就是说。如果你今天看通膨的数据，我抓另外一个数据，我把之前的数据拿来比，你就更清楚。你今天如果看一个这个数据你只看这个 CPI 数据，你就觉得通膨已经降。可是你如果看的数据是 Core PCE 的话，你会说，通膨好像真的要降，还有段距离。这个是抓那个另外一张图，一样是 Core PCE 的数字，你会发现，怎么大家都告诉我通膨降，可是通膨看起来比高峰点稍微降了一些，可是并没有一直在降所以很多人都会说，所谓的核心通膨是所谓的粘滞性通膨，就是它要降，其实你没有你想象中的那么简单那所以我们现在理解的第一个数据是 Core PCE 现在的数字就是4.6% 左右。那我们来看联准会的利率现在是多少联准会现在利率呢，我们把它叫做 Fed Fund Rate 联邦基金利率，目前已经调到5% 到5.25% 的区间那现在呢，7月份下个礼拜要开会，理论上应该会升1码到2码，1码的几率比较高所以呢，现在看起来呢，到7月底，联邦基金利率可能会拉到5.25到5.5% 之间那所以你去想一件事 如果 Core PCE 是4.6%，联邦基金利率是5.25%到5.5%，这个样子，他们的差距其实是快1%的嘛，对不对？快1%。也就是说，其实啊，之前很多经济学家在讲说，怎么样的状况下，通膨才会被压制住呢？一个很重要的状况是，联邦基金利率必须比通膨高1%。那这是至少一大部分的经济学家认为可能要到这个状况下才能压制。所以呢，有没有可能，其实联总会升到7月份再升1码之后，其实已经可以了那用这个差不多1% 的差距 ，Core PC 就开始被压制住那可能现在是4.6，我们刚刚讲已经连续6个月维持在4.6到4.7% 的区间嘛。可是有没有可能接下来7月、8月、9月就慢慢降，慢慢降，到年底的时候，这个延滞性通膨虽然很难搞，可是呢还是降了它可能从4.6% 降到3.7、3.8%、3点几个%或者好一点3.6%那降1%。那如果真的达成这个剧本的话，这可能就可以达成软着陆。为什么呢？因为你想如果 Core PC 降到3.6%，虽然3.6% 离联准会的名义上的目标2%还差1.6%，其实还蛮远的。可是这却给了联准会一点点降息的空间，也就是说，现在 Core PC 是4.6%，所以我的联邦基金利率要拉到5.5%。可是等到 Core PC 掉到3.6%，那是不是其实联邦基金利率不用维持在5.25%到5.5% 的区间，而是它可以稍微降息举个例，降个2码，从5.25%到5.5% 变成4.75%到5%。那这样子其实也比3.6% 高1%，所以理论上应该也能够压制。而如果这件事情发生的时候呢，美国经济还没有崩盘还没有进入衰退，那这个降息呢就可以给市场一个 breathing room 就可以喘一口气的空间因为我们之前一直讲说，为什么 Mula 我认为高利息、高利率会让经济衰退的一个重要的原因，是因为高利率环境之下，生意很难做，你要借钱做生意，你要投资或者是买昂贵的商品都很麻烦，因为你的付的利息又比较多，所以终究那个撑不住就是利息太高，就终究有一天大家会撑不住。可是有没有可能在这个经济还没有因为高利率而撑不住这个事情爆开之前呢，就开始降息了？这样子是不是就某个时候解除危机呢？我现在跟大家讲，这个东西就是一个最理想的剧本，也是我认为现在股市正在猜测可能发生的剧本。好，那接下来我们来聊这个剧本有没有可能发生呢？首先呢，你要问我，就说这世界上没有什么不可能的事情嘛，所以你问我有没有可能，当然有可能，问题只是几率有多高而已啦那我常常说，在我们节目我们刚刚正好前面的留言也有念，我就说我们到底准不准不知道了，就有些时候准，有些时候不准嘛。因为我如果那么准，看未来那么准，我早就发了，对不对？我就是世界首富了，我何必在这里跟大家聊聊？就算我很有钱，我还是会开节目因为我觉得开节目聊天很有趣但是 anyway， 我觉得我们尽量就事论事首先，既然我不能预测未来，我们就先观察我们来观察未来几个月 Core PCE 或者是你要看 CPI 也可以Core PCE、Core CPI 是不是真的开始慢慢的有被压下来了？我举个例子，如果未来几个月 Core PCE 还是维持在4.6，或者是稍微降一点到4.5、4.4，你可能就会觉得这样不太行通膨好像没有太压制。但是如果未来几个月 Core PCE 从4.6掉4.4、掉4.2、掉4.0，你可能就说，有可能走这个软着陆的可能所以我觉得，我真的没有能力预测未来，我们就是看数据给我们什么指示，我们就更可以确定方向那当然，我们上个礼拜不是有聊 CPI 吗？因为虽然 CPI 并不是联总会看的 PC， 不过我通常会把它当成是一个领先指标 ，CPI 就是早2个礼拜公布嘛那6月份 Core CPI 的月增率是还不错，我们之前讲0.2% 是符合标准的所以下个礼拜Core PCE 就会发布了，我们就来看看6月份的 Core PCE 怎么样。那如果掉到4.5、4.4，那我觉得这个好消息，对不对？那但是我们回头来讲，那对于我们投资的角度怎么思考呢？或者是我们刚才讲，到底会不会衰退？你说 Mula， 对我们看数据说，可是我现在就要决定我的投资策略我也没办法再等1个月、等2个月，那怎么办呢？那我们来思考一下 这个所谓的几率哦，那这个几率呢，到底如果纯粹只是可能性啊，到底会不会发生衰退？那几率多高呢？我们来看《华尔街日报》的调查嘛，《华尔街日报》的经济学家有46% 认为会软着陆嘛，有54% 认为会衰退嘛，哈。那这是《华尔街日报》的问卷。那有另外一家金融服务公司叫 Bankrate 呢，它同样在7月份发表一份问卷的调查结果，也是问经济学家，其中有41% 的人认为会软着陆啊，不会衰退，代表有59% 的人认为会衰退。也就是说，在这2份报告里面啊，第一份是《华尔街日报》是54% 的经济学家认为会衰退。未来12个月还是会出现硬着陆衰退。Bankrate 做的更高一点，59% 啊，认为未来12个月内还是会出现一个衰退啊，一个硬着陆。所以你去想，这些很厉害的经济学家目前看起来还是有5到60%的人认为未来还是会出现衰退。那你问我个人的看法啊，我个人的看法从年初到现在都没有变过哦，因为我必须说啦，我觉得我们某个程度来讲，对于总体经济，我认为我自己算是一个业余爱好者，也就是说，我学过一些基本的经济学啊，那我也看过很多经济学的书，看过很多总体经济的书，我有一些我自己的看法，可是我从来不会认为我是专家，因为我没有整天都在研究这个东西，对不对？哦，但是我从一个业余爱好者的看法，好，所以我不认为我可以精准预测，可是你知道，我从年初到现在，我的看法一直比较偏向说，我认为未来1年内发生衰退的几率可能有60%以上哦。我没办法给他更精确的数字，没办法给你什么67.6%或者是73.5%，我没办法哦，因为我根本没有这个模型，所以这个就是一个内心的直觉啦。我的内心直觉就是60%，所以其实我目前内心的直觉跟经济学家的数字也差不多哦。但是我记得我在前几集开始讨论的时候，我其实最近也开始认真的考虑我可能犯错的可能性啊，因为毕竟今年上半年的这个数字非常的漂亮啊，投资赚很多钱，那可是我一直觉得会衰退啊，那是不是有没有可能是我错啊？那你看这里就看到一个好处，就是我虽然看空，可是我还是做多哦，这很有趣，因为这就是我的投资策略。那你没有看，你不理解我的投资策略的，你会觉得很奇怪啊。但是那你如果要真的理解我的投资策略，你可能必须把我们从投资好难的第1集开始听到现在。你如果每一集我关于投资的都听，你大概会理解我的投资的做法啊。Anyway， 但是我现在就开始回头来思考说，我的看法有没有办法犯错？我当时我认为为什么经济一定会衰退？我有一个很重要的假设是，我认为整个世界已经习惯1% 到2% 的这种利率太久了。这样讲啊，自从金融海啸之后呢，整个全世界的利率一直是维持在这种所谓的低利率环境，就是1%、2%，是0点几%。而我们已经这样做了10年的生意嘞，所以其实5% 的利率，我觉得大家会撑不住，我觉得大家没办法接受。所以我今天是企业，我以前借钱都是1% 2%，现在叫我借5%，我真的受不了，我就要少借。我今天是消费者，我以前买车，车贷可能是3% 4%，现在呢车贷要5% 7%，我受不了，我就不买了，就车子都开钱。这是我的核心假设，也就是说，我认为大家没办法忍耐5%的利率。可是我现在开始思考，其实是说，会不会我的假设错了？会不会虽然我以为大家撑不了5%的利率，但是大家说没关系，虽然利率很贵，我还是撑。这不是没有可能的。如果我们把历史看得久一点，其实人类的经济史上其实是我不能讲很长期间，可是可以撑一段时间在高利率的。我举个例子来讲，大家知道2000年不是有科技泡沫嘛？这是我人生的投资历史上遇到的第一次的泡沫，就是2000年的科技泡沫啊。2000年的科技泡沫之前的前5年啊，从1995年到1999年，这5年的联邦基金利率其实一直都在5% 到6% 的区间了，中间有一度到4.7、4.8，那很短期的，但是那基本上那5年都是5到6%了。也就是说，当利率到5% 的时候，其实经济一直撑啊，撑到2000年科技泡沫才爆哈。然后我们来看金融海啸，金融海啸是2007年出现所谓次贷危机，2008年出现金融海啸，对不对？那你去想金融海啸前的利率呢？基本上到了2006年的时候的大概5、6月那个时候，联邦基金利率也正式站上5%。也就是说，如果我们看 如果到2007年的下半年，次贷风暴开始发生了之后，联总会开始降息来看，其实从非方瑞上5%到整个经济崩盘，也撑了1年呢，也超过1年呢，可能1年从站上5%到开始降息，也是1年又好几个月，所以5%的利率。你如果看这两次的历史，一次撑了5、6年，一次撑了1年多，其实某个程度来讲，并不是你一上去大家就完全受不了，对不对？那当然了，我必须说这2个例子都蛮久以前的，一个是2000年，一个是2008年。那会不会现在2023年会一样还是不一样呢？我当初就是认为。2023年大家不一样，我认为大家真的2010年到2020年这个10年的低利率已经过得太爽了，已经不会用同样的眼光看这个事情，所以我觉得大家撑不住，但是或许我错了，或许我错了那或许我说原来大家还是可以接受5%的利率还是愿意去，但其实你看，当然我必须说这个部分的数据是有点分歧的，好像我举个例子，像美国买房，因为房贷利率冲高，所以其实在前几个月其实都是有掉的直到5、6月份有点反弹那可是买车的部分看起来利率虽然变高，可是消费者还是在买所以 anyway 我觉得我想即使是这些最专业的经济学家都没办法得到很棒的答案。我觉得我们这种业余的观察者，我们就是拿来理解、聊天，然后作为一个风险的的思考的参考值我觉得就好了我们不要觉得说我一定比他们厉害，我可以预测，我们怎么可能呢所以回头来讲为什么所以我的立场是没有改变的，我的立场一直没有改变，就是说真的，我觉得60%会衰退，但是有40%可能不衰退那可能继续涨可是我能怎么办呢？我又没那么厉害，我又没办法说一定会，我知道一定会衰退，而且股市会大跌，我现在就开始布空单，或者我知道一定会软着陆，股市既然接下来会涨，我就什么加码杠杆加上去。问题是我都不知道，所以我觉得我们只能，我的投资模式或者我的投资能力就是凡人的投资能力。我们凡人的投资方法可以怎么做呢？我们就是说。还是有相当高的，我觉得你的第一点是，虽然现在看起来可能软着陆，可是即使软着陆几率变高，但是还是有相当高的可能性，之后是会衰退。那这可能性不是100%会发生可能性就不是100%会发生。而既然有这个可能性，这个可能性也不低，因为超过50%嘛，所以我们稍微小心谨慎一点如果你有开杠杆，杠杆少开一点，或者是你像我一样把现金部位拉高一点，加强投资组合的抗风险能力。其实我觉得是一个很稳健的操作就算你因为这个样子牺牲一点投资报酬率，也是值得的就是说我们的投资策略不是任何时候都在追求最高的投资报酬率，而是如果你开始觉得风险变高，你即使宁愿牺牲投资报酬率，其实你换得一些万一出事的时候的一些保障，我觉得也不是不好。就像我们买保险嘛。保险你买也是希望用不到，可是万一很不幸发生了你要用到的时候，其实它就可以保护那这是我目前的看法建议我也宁可建议大多数的投资人在目前这个阶段，不要追求纯粹的投资报酬率，而是还是得相当看这个风险控管、风险趋避的一个部分，好不好？好，那这是我们今天的第一个题目，美国经济软着陆。我刚才聊天是有问，现在有不少信贷利率是2.0到2.5%，你是讲的是台湾吗？我觉得第一个，台湾升息没有像美国升息的那么多了台湾的这个我们的央行的升息的利率，其实现在是比美国低蛮多的所以台币才会弱势那美国的信贷我就不了解那大概是这样。好，那这是以上是我们第一个话题。接下来我们进入我们今天的第二个话题。我们第二个话题来聊 Twitter Twitter 在上个礼拜呢推出一个蛮大的动作，什么动作呢？就在周末说，我们正式推出蓝勾勾认证的创作者分润计划，而且应该讲的不是正式推出这个计划，而是说这个计划正式付钱给你了正式发钱了基本上呢，他只要说你只要有付钱订阅 Twitter 的蓝勾勾。而且你只要连续3个月，你在 Twitter 上面的曝光数都是 超过500万啊，就是连续3个月500万，就至少1500万的曝光，你就可以分到广告的一个收入的分成哦。那这个部分呢，它不是分所有的广告，它是分哦，如果你今天发了一些推特的推文哦，这些推文它后面可能如果有些人留言，而如果有些人在看这个留言的时候，在这个留言这个推文的留言串里面看到一些广告，这些广告如果被看到的部分呢，会分润给你哦，所以这个是这一次 Twitter 的这个分润啊。那根据马斯克今天早上最新的说法，就如果有人是特别点到你的 profile， 也就是点到你的个人页面，然后在那个页面看到广告也会分给你哦。简单讲说，如果你今天刚进 Twitter， 然后你在滑，在滑很多人的页面，没有特别点进去，这个时候看到的广告是不会分润的。可是如果你看到一则留言，然后你看到一则推的，你觉得这个留言你想进去看后面人怎么讨论，你就点进去。这个时候呢，你如果看到广告，这广告会分润给一开始发这个Twitter 的人啊，或者是你觉得哪一个创作者很厉害，你想看他过去几天讲什么，你就点进去啊，看他过去几天的推文的时候，中间看到一则广告，这一则也会分哦。那这一次 Twitter 发放的这个分润呢，基本上是从今年2月到今年6月这5个月的分润哦。然后有些数字还蛮惊人的。首先有一位有75万追踪者的一个科技记者叫 Brian Cassiston 哦，他拿到24305块美金哦，平均这5个月除以5嘛，平均每个月是4861美元，也就是将近快15万台币哦，15万台币，光发 Twitter。那另外一位呢，举例像一位叫 Benny Johnson， 他是一个政治评论家，他的追踪者有170万，他拿到的分润是9546美金啊，每个月呢是1909美金，差不多是快6万台币。那为什么170万追踪者的人拿到的钱比75万追踪者少呢？我觉得这可能有几个原因，是第一个可能是第一个人他发的文讨论度比较高哦，下面留言比较多，所以可能。那第二个是我跟你讲啊，我刚刚讲的那个分润条件少讲的一个资格，就是你要看到广告的人必须也是蓝勾勾付费者才会分润给你。就是说，如果你看到的那些内容，你是一个没有蓝勾勾的人，然后你看到的内容里面有广告，那个也不会分润啊。所以有可能是讨论政治，它的受众人虽然比较多，可是很多人没有那么付费变成蓝勾勾。可是这个讨论科技的，因为他的可能这些科技的达人很多都有付蓝勾勾，所以他的观众里面蓝勾勾比率比较高，所以他分到钱比较多。那详细的规则我们当然也不知道，因为目前也才第一次哦。那推特的这个规则严不严格呢？老实讲，我没有觉得很严格啦，因为500万的每个月的平均曝光，我不觉得这很严格。你看，像我自己，我 Mula 我的 Twitter 有1万个追踪啊，可是我没有真的很认真经营哦，因为我的 Twitter 就是讲干话，所以你想要看 Mula 讲干话，你就去追踪我的 Twitter。我没有真的很认真经营，可是1万个追踪，而且繁体中文市场其实很小哦，我们的台湾市场其实很小。可是我过去几个月大概都有100万左右的曝光，也就是说，我今天只要非常认真经营，然后让我的追踪 maybe 冲上3万或5万，其实我可能可以达标这个500万的每个月的曝光哦。所以我觉得，如果以欧美这边哦，因为欧美英文市场比较大，所以英文市场是比较大的。我认为，只要你有10万人以上追踪，而且你比较认真经营，我觉得应该都可以达到这每个月500万曝光的标准啊。那我觉得为什么这个礼拜 Twitter 的这个事件要变成我要讨论的一个主题呢？因为我认为Twitter 这一次的广告分润，在整个社群网站的这个产业里面，算是一个蛮大的一个突破。你要知道，传统来讲，哪种平台会去跟创作者做广告分润呢？基本上呢，你知道的知名的创作者平台里面，只有 YouTube 分润。那为什么 YouTube 会愿意分润？是因为 YouTube 的平台是可以明确去归因说广告是哪个创作者贡献啊。那在 YouTube 里面你是看了九妹的影片才看到这个广告，所以这个钱是可以给九妹。你是看蔡阿嘎的影片才看到这个广告，所以这个钱可以给蔡阿嘎。那你是去看你去看这个反骨的影片，看到这个广告，所以这个广告分给反骨。 这个是明确归因，说这个广告到底是因为看了谁的影片才产生这个收入的。所以在这种状况下，其实它是很容易可以说我要分润给谁。可是呢，除了 YouTube 以外的社群平台，我们来看，包含了 Instagram、IG， 包含了 Facebook， 甚至短影音的 TikTok。事实上呢，你很难归因说这个广告到底是哪个创作者贡献。为什么呢？因为 IG 的广告也好， Facebook 的广告也好， TikTok 的广告也好，它不是放在某个人的内容里面，它是放在内容跟内容的中间。也就是说，你看了3则动态之后，插了下一个广告，然后接下来再看5则动态之后，再插一个广告。也就是说，那个广告是放在内容跟内容中间的一个空隙，它不是附属于某个内容的。所以去想哦，如果你今天在看 TikTok， 连续滑了10个短影音之后，看到1则广告，请问这则广告的谁可以分到这个广告呢？是看到广告前的最后1则的影片吗？还是看到广告前的5则？还是看到广告前的10则都可以分呢？请问哪一种比较合理？你不知道，对不对？因为你在滑这10支影片，其中第2支、第7支跟第8支，你都觉得很厉害，你都看比较多哈，都看完。可是第9支、第10支，你都觉得很鸟，就只2秒钟就滑掉。就既然你看到广告，你把这个广告归因到前1则合理吗？好像不太合理。归因到前3则，事实上只有第8则是你想到，第9、第10则你都不喜欢，所以这个分润是很难，这个广告是很难归因的。所以这类型的平台呢，在之前都没有分润给创作者，无论是 IG、Facebook 跟 TikTok 都可以从广告赚不少钱，但是对不起，创作者，虽然你贡献内容，我没有要分给你哈。说真的，这也是在过去这几年这些社群平台最被诟病的地方，因为他们会很多批评者就是说，明明你的平台上有价值的原因，是因为很多创作者上面分享内容，明明你的内容都是用户创作的，可是这些创作者、这些用户却连1毛钱都没有分到哦。那所以你是不是白白占这些创作者的便宜哦？所以呢 ，Twitter 这一次呢，它这一次的分润算是为什么我说它是一个突破性的一个做法，是因为它等于是在这个环境之下，它打出一条新路啊。首先呢 ，Twitter 是比较接近像 Facebook、接近 IG 啊这种相对比较难明确归因的。可是 Twitter 它找出一条新路，就是说它在 Twitter 上面的广告啊，就是可以分成可以归因跟不可以归因的嘛。就是说，如果你今天在刚打开 Twitter APP， 你连续滑10则动态的第11则看到广告，对不起，这个状况很类似我们刚刚讲的这个，很类似我们刚刚讲的这个 TikTok 或者是 IG 的状况，是我没办法归因这个广告是谁替我贡献，所以没办法分。可是呢 ，Twitter 里面呢有其他的方式可以归因，就是说，如果你今天点击那一则贴文，去看那一则贴文后续产生的讨论，这个你就可以归因了。为什么呢？因为如果举个例，我今天 Mula 讲了一句话，后面有很多人觉得讲得很好，我讲得不好，所以在下面吵成一团，创造了200则留言。这200则留言呢，都是因为 Mula 我产生的嘛，所以这个时候呢，从 Mula 我去分到这个广告，看起来是有点合理，这是可以被归因的。或者是我们刚才讲的，如果今天是这个人就是刻意要去点你的 profile， 然后点你的个人页面去看你过去1-20则的推文，这个时候呢，看到广告当然也可以归因所以简单来讲呢 ，Twitter 等于是把这种原本没有办法归因广告贡献的社群媒体中找到一条路，是在这些状况下可以归因的广告，我分润那当然，这个部分到底会占整个 Twitter 的广告的总收入有多少呢？我们没有数据，我不知道。但是你要我个人很主观的猜测，我认为大概说明有30%左右。也就是说，我自己使用 Twitter 的习惯是，我一开始会先滑整个 Twitter 的这个涂鸦墙动态墙，但滑一滑，我觉得有一则我觉得很有趣，我想看看别人怎么讨论，我这时候就会点进去。这样我自己的使用时间 maybe 是30%吧，所以我认为，如果当然了，我觉得说用我自己一个人的使用的模式广推所有人，我觉得并不合理。可是我也没有别的方法去推，所以我就先有个人的经验说，我认为 maybe 30%那30%的广告收入，未来 Twitter 可能会分给创作者，可是这样分钱对于 Twitter 也会造成影响，为什么呢？因为大家知道嘛 ，Twitter 马斯克接手之后就很努力的想要避免亏损，对不对？那可是你今天要分钱给创作者，那一定会对于 Twitter 要转亏为盈这件事情造成额外的压力嘛。你去想假设这30%的广告Twitter 不可能100%分给你嘛。那我就举个例子 ，YouTube 算分的多 ，YouTube 分了55%， 哦，但是 Twitter 我觉得它不会分那么多。假设 Twitter 分4成好了哦，所以如果今天有30% 的广告收入需要分4成给创作者，代表 Twitter 要分出12% 的营收，也就是他自己的营收就会减少12%，减少12%，当然对于 Twitter 的营收跟获利都会有影响哈。那所以呢，我觉得回头来讲，我们在之前呢，因为这个礼拜有个新闻嘛，就是说马斯克又出来喊说啊，Twitter 到现在还是负现金流哦，这个其实哦，跟我记得我们在3、4月的时候聊过几集，说 Twitter 到底有没有转亏为盈或正现金流哦，那其实这里面很有趣哦，这我觉得可能大家谈的数字不是完全一样的东西哦，那。所以我之前认为哦，Twitter 在营运上面其实应该已经非常接近转亏为盈，甚至有可能正式转亏为盈了哈。那这里我讲的主要是讲 operating income 哦，就是所以营运利益、营业利益，或者是如果讲现金流叫 operating cash flow 营业现金流哦。那营业现金流在财报是这个样，就是你做了生意，我举个例，你今天做生意。你今天做了生意，然后你买了100块的成本的东西，然后卖150块，然后所以你的获利就是50块，然后这50块可能是你的 operating income， 你的营运的假如你都是收现金，你营运现金流就是正值，可是你当初开店就跟人家借钱，跟银行借很多钱，你每个月要花60块的利息，所以你营运赚的钱是不够付利息，所以整间公司的财报是负现金流，可是营运现金流有可能已经转正哦，所以我之前讲的转亏为盈或者讲现金流转正，我都讲得非常清楚。你回去看我之前讲的节目，我讲的都是 operating income 或者是讲 operating cash flow 哦，那就说你公司本身是已经不赚钱了，可是对不起啊，因为你公司当中借很多钱，你还要还钱，那一要还钱你可能就还是负现金流，所以这两个东西是没有冲突的哦。这个就是我只能讲哈，我觉得很多时候这种财务的东西啊，是让你要有一定程度的专业，你才能够比较合理的评论，否则你就想啊，马斯克之前说转亏为盈啊，现在又说是负现金流，当初说正件一定都是鬼扯，一定是有一部分是骗人的啊，当初胡乱啊，所以其实不一定哦。我认为现在很有可能 Twitter 的 operating cash flow 已经是正的了，但是呢，整个财报上的损益啊，它的加上财务的叫 financing 的 cash flow 之后，就变成负的，因为要付很高额的利息啊，所以这两件事其实我觉得这是目前的状况。其实你回头去看我去年年底，我不是在科技娱乐街嘛，写了一篇分析 Twitter 的经营吗？那个是去年我忘记是好像10月写的啊，我忘记几月，所以离现在也是8、9个月。对，那个时候我在那边就写的非常清楚，说 operating cash flow 我认为是可以转正的，但是130亿美元的公司的欠银行的债务的利息太高了哦，这部分不解决的话，Twitter 是没办法进入正现金流。然后你去看哦，真的那篇是免费公开，在7、8个月前我就写的这么明白哦，那只是你跟那种哦不去细教数字的人很难真的解释这个东西，他就说啊你看错，马斯克骗人，Mila 看不懂或什么的。我想真的不是这样，我觉得，哎呀，我也不知道怎么讲啊。我们尽量就事论事，尽量给大家专业的分析啊。那可是有些人就是不看这些专业，他就是凭着情绪在讲话。哦，但回头来讲啊，我认为 Twitter 未来如果真的要分给创作者，那的确会对他们造成额外的盈利压力，所以这会让 Twitter 要进入转亏为盈的难度会变高，因为一口气就交出了12% 的营收嘛，哈，所以那为什么 Twitter 会做这件事呢？我个人认为哦，这跟上个礼拜Meta 推 Threads 应该是有关系的，好，就是 Threads 带来竞争嘛，所以你为了要对付这个竞争，你当然要推出比较强力的杀手锏。好了，那最后讲 Twitter 到底要怎么样才能真正正现金流呢？那重点是要把那130亿美元的债务还掉了，好不好？那130亿美元就是马斯克现在的特斯拉的股票的价值 maybe 有好几百亿美元嘛，所以就卖掉一些啦，慢慢卖啦，哦，那一季还个20亿啦，哦，你1年就还了80亿美元，就可这会对特斯拉股价造成压力啦，哦，所以本人身为特斯拉的股东。哎呀，真的是有点尴尬啊！就是你一直卖股票，特斯拉的股价就跌，但是你不卖，然后你 Twitter 的这个财务的大因为你现在要找外部投资人也真的没那么容易。好，那 anyway， 我觉得马斯克你想清楚啦，你真正的解法就是卖股票啦，然后每卖掉一些，卖个1亿美元就去还一下 Twitter 的债务了，哦，这才是一个解决方案。好， 那最后我们还是聊一下这个，我认为这次 Twitter 的动作，这愿意做这个创作者分润，我觉得是一件非常好的事情。因为我自己身为创作者，我认为这件事情早就应该发生啊，你知道吗？像我今天拍直播，我今天做这样的影片，我的影片在 YouTube 是可以收钱的，每个月都有收入。可是我发在 FB 的文，发在 IG 的文都是免费的 ，Meta 真的是占我很大的便宜，所以我觉得这件事情老实讲没有那么合，没有那么合。Meta 它有提供我一些免费的价值，像它帮我弄到一些粉丝，它让我有一个好的服务可以用，但是这个部分我觉得比起我付费价值应该是相对比较少，所以你知道吗？也不是我一个人这样认为，之前 Crypto 很红 ，Web3 很红的，很多主打新的 Web3 的社群网络，就是主打它要分润但是我必须说啊，这些 Web3 的社群网络当然做不起来，为什么？因为你没有办法只靠分润做出一个社群网络所以我认为 Twitter 这一次的动作反而是有一个影响力，它可能会对产业造成后续的影响为什么？因为它是一个已经算是相当营运成熟的社群网络，而它本来可以不分钱的，但它现在居然愿意分钱给创作者。我认为 Meta 一定会得到压力，为什么？因为现在你是创作者，你一定会觉得为什么 Twitter 可以分，你 Meta 不能分？所以 Meta 未来会压力越来越大所以你也可以把它想成是 Elon Musk 对于 Thread 的反击啊。为什么？就是说，你去想Meta 未来绝对不是只是Thread被问会不会分润嘛？未来人家已经问你，为什么 IG 不可以分润给我？为什么 FB 不分润给我？好，那你去想一个问题是 ，Meta 现在就是没有分嘛，未来要分，它一定会很痛嘛。你要知道 ，Meta 的用户数那么多，创作者那么多，是比 Twitter 多了几十倍的。如果真的要分，那个金额不知道会多多少，所以 Meta 一定会很心痛所以我觉得 Meta 现在应该会很希望说，Twitter 这个分润大家不要太在意大家不要去玩因为如果 Twitter 一旦玩起来了，这个分润玩起来，大家都为了这个分润很认真的去创作。我跟你讲 ，Meta 会有压力Meta 会很头痛，说好，我可以分润，好，我跟上，那我是不是我的 operating margin， 我的营业利率可能就一口气先掉个10%，这是有可能的，所以 Meta 应该会头痛那我们最后来看一下，聊一下 Threads 最新的一个数据那我在前2天看到 CNBC， 应该是昨天有最新的报道，是说 Threads 在一开始爆红之后，开始出现一些疲态来自于这个统计机构是 Sensor Tower 的数据说，上个礼拜2跟礼拜3跟在前一个周六比呢 ，Threads 的每日的活跃用户 DAU 掉了20%，而每个用户的平均使用时间从20分钟掉到10分钟，掉了50%。有些人会说这个是周间比周末不公平的，可是我觉得不是这样看，为什么呢？因为一个快速成长中的服务，它的周间还是会比上个周末高，这就是符合所谓的快速成长。所以你去看以 Threads 的用户的快速成长，它并没有到了周间就变慢，它在上个周间周一到周五还是非常快速的成长，所以用户数其实是没有成长是还是非常快的。可是为什么 DAU 会掉这不是周末比周间，因为你像我一样，如果你像我一样真实的使用经营过这种网络服务，而针对一个真的爆红，像我以前做线上游戏嘛，我当然知道周末的上线人数会比较高。可是如果一个游戏在刚推的前几周，而且很红，我跟你讲，就算是隔天的周一，它的人数还是会比周末高的比前个周末高。所以其实这个数据我们可以说，其实代表串 Threads 它的留存率没有很高，也就是说很多人开了账号进去发了1-2篇文之后呢，就没有再去使用那不过这代表 Threads 会失败吗？我觉得也 too early to tell 了，还太早了现在不能评断我只能回应一句说，我个人觉得，我上个礼拜就有提到，我认为 Meta 其实没有必要为了抢时机，把一个没有准备好的产品去推出来因为当时 Meta 提早推出，就是因为觉得 Twitter 遇到这个 rate limit 的一个事件遇到这个限制浏览量的一个事件，所以他觉得我要趁你病要你命。可是我真的觉得，对于一个产品的长线成功，这样的机会不具太大的意义你去想 ，Meta 它推出产品是还不够成熟，所以无论在演算法或者是很多功能，事实上都可能还没开发出来，也没有足够的测试。有些人说 ，Mila 这不是 MVP 吗？这就是说你们常常讲创业讲新创，我们知道推出不成熟的产品，它快速的迭代、快速的修改wrong 好不好？这跟 MVP 不一样好不好？如果 Meta 是用 MVP 的方法做，它一开始根本不需要接触这么多，它一开始应该是先限量10万人、20万人用，然后慢慢推到50万人、100万人用。 MVP 的做法一个很重要的点是，我一开始推出的产品版本是不强的，很多问题的，可是我也只在少量的人里面去获得回馈，然后快速的修改。好，那 Meta 的这个产品一推，就是直接向整个 IG 的20亿以上的用户在推的，这是一个虽然它可能没有花钱，可是这就是一个大型的宣传、大型的推广。好，所以如果你真的要做 MVP， 那你就不应该一开始就像这么大群的人去推出。好，所以我认为这个是 Meta 在这一次真的犯的一个错误。那 anyway， 现在就看起来说，现在可能流失率是蛮高的，可是就看 IG 团队的动作快不快嘛，就是你要跟产品时间赛跑啊，我要赶在未来几个礼拜快速的把产品修到很不错，还不错，要这样子未来的流失率降低，我的社群才能维持住。不要犯下当初跟 Clubhouse 一样的错 ，Clubhouse 就是改太慢。那最后回头到 Twitter， 事实上马斯克在上个礼拜有发布 Twitter 最新的数字那我觉得他就是回头说告诉大家，Threads 没有影响我因为他根据他发布的数字，过去一个礼拜就是Threads 推出这一个礼拜 ，Twitter 的使用量其实成长了3.5%，Twitter 没有衰退而且在上个礼拜他也创下了过去半年的最高的单日流量所以他可能就要 demo 说，其实我没有受到影响不过他这个数据公布之后，也让外界也觉得很有趣，就是这次公布的数据，日本的使用量居然比美国高就代表日本人真的很喜欢 Twitter。好，那这是我们今天第二个话题，接下来我们进入第三个话题我们今天第三个话题要来聊马斯克的 XAI 上个礼拜四我们也有聊 XAI 但是因为我们上礼拜四的节目就说嘛，隔天Elon Musk 就会在 Twitter Spaces 上面举办一个 XAI 的语音聊天室，就在活动里面会去回答一些关于 XAI 的问题所以我们今天就重点整理在他们这场活动里面他们回答哪些问题第一个问题是说XAI 成立到底是为了解决什么问题存在那马斯克讲的就很屌，他说他想回答说，到底重力的本质是什么？为什么会有重力呢 ？The nature of gravity， 或者是所谓的费米悖论，外星人是否存在？能不能给出答案呢？马斯克说，如果未来我们要发展出通用型人工智慧 AGI 的话，这个通用型人工智慧要能够被称为通用型人工智慧，就必须要回答出这种很基础，我们人类可能没办法答出来的问题为什么重力存在呢？为什么外星人是否存在呢？而这个人类无法找到答案，AI 却透过它独有的智力，找出正确的解答。这是马斯克讲的这个那我觉得难度有点高了这是第一个问题第二个问题第二个重点是一样是谈 AGI 那马斯克说 AGI 他这种不应该是被暴力运算出来。什么叫暴力运算呢？就是有点说我并不是在演算法或者是在 AI 的技术上有这些突破，而是说我放更多的参数，用更多的显示卡，用更多的计算去算出更好的结果就像举个例子，像现在的一些大型语言模型你现在的参数可能是1300亿或者600亿或800亿1500亿但是你说我要我的大型语言模型要更厉害，我就扩大模型，我变成5000亿，变成1兆，变成2兆，用更大的参数去训练这种模型这种所谓的暴力运算，用更多的显卡、更多的记忆体运算、更多的电力去运算，的确是可以得到更强的 AI。可是马斯克说，这不应该是 AGI 的方向。他说这样子的方向去运算出来的会很耗电，而且它可能有它的极限所以其实马斯克等于是反对这种要用越大越好的，用暴力解决问题的这个方向简单来讲就是这样那下一个重点 ，XAI 这间公司的方向呢他马斯克讲了2个方向，第一个是说这间公司呢未来还是会维持一个小团队它的小可能是比起 OpenAI 或比起 Google 小，就是它是一个 relative small， 就是对比竞争对手比较小那他希望这个公司的内部文化是可以彼此互相挑战的。而大家很在意说 XAI 什么时候会推出产品呢？马斯克说预计他们会在几个礼拜内就会发表第一个产品的一些细节所以他讲的不是未来几个礼拜内就会发布产品他讲的是未来几个礼拜内会发布第一个产品的细节，所以他有可能是我举个例，可能在 4个礼拜之后，他们就开一个发表会，这个发表会说我们要推出什么什么产品，而这个产品预计可能在3个月后推出，类似这样，那这个产品可以做到什么，就有点预告了，就有点预告。其实就像苹果它发表了 Apple Vision Pro 嘛，可是产品要到明年年初才会推嘛，所以就是提早个几个月先讲要推什么产品，大概是这样。然后有人问到说 XAI 会是 OpenAI 的 ChatGPT 或者是 Google 的 Bard 的对手嘛，就是这些聊天机器人的对手嘛？马斯克回答是说，We are in competition， 我们的确是会互相竞争的哦。然后根据马斯克的说法呢 ，XAI 预计会推出给企业使用的 AI， 也会推出给消费者使用的 AI。我们刚刚讲的 ChatGPT 就是给消费者使用的 AI 嘛 ，Google 的 Bard 也是给消费者使用的 AI 嘛，所以 XAI 未来会预计，无论是企业用的或者消费者用的，都会推出相关的 AI 的产品。接下来呢，就有人谈到说 XAI 会不会使用 Twitter 的资料来训练？答案是当然会嘛，马斯克就顺便骂了一下别家，说你看别家也都用我们 Twitter 的资料啊，但是呢，他们都是非法使用啊，他们都是非法抓取，都没付钱给我们，大概就这样。而且，不过这有个重点就是，他说 XAI 未来使用 Twitter 的资料，除了文字以外，他们也会用这些资料来帮忙训练影片跟影像。所以呢，你就想，其实未来下一代这种不能讲下一代，接下来的一个主要的这种 AI 模型，其实很重要，都是所谓的 multi model， 就是多态象，就是说一个 AI 模型可以同时处理语言、文字、图形、影片、声音都可以这种的做法，其实像 OpenAI 的模型或者是 Google 的模型，现在其实都做得到了那另外一个 XAI 就马斯克这些讲的，我觉得算是一个比较争议的话题就是未来他认为现在虽然 XAI 的模型还是会用 Twitter 的资料去训练，可是他认为未来的 AI 真正使用的训练的资料会慢慢从人类产生的资料转成 AI 自己产生的资料。那我举个例，现在有没有一些模型，有没有一些 AI 的训练是用机器自己产生的资料？有，像那个自动驾驶就是嘛，无论是特斯拉的技术，无论是 NVIDIA 的技术，他们都会自己产生很多的一个模拟或假的这个路况就它的道路可能是虚拟的没有真实的道路，它上面车子也是电脑产生的，这是机器产生的资料，或者是像之前最有名的嘛 AlphaGo， 就是这个丁麦的这个下棋的模型，一开始他们也是用人类的棋谱去训练的，但是后来呢，他就不用人类棋谱，后来就让 AI 彼此对战，AI 自己彼此对战，就产生了许许多多新的棋谱，就用这种 AI 机器自己产生的资料自己训练所以这是马斯克认为未来的一个趋势可是这个东西当然引发一个争议，为什么？因为其实你如果比较熟悉 AI 的训练的人就知道说，其实用 AI 自己产生的内容来做训练，可能会出现一个问题，就是会长歪，就是说，可能 AI 在这一次产生的资料有一点点问题，可是因为你用这些资料去训练，所以那个问题就越来越严重所以这个部分，我相信马斯克或者是他旗下这些 AI 专家也绝对不可能不知道所以我想他们应该也是有思考过那至于他们会怎么解决这个问题呢？我觉得就看他们后续怎么做吧下一个问题是说，被问到说马斯克成立 XAI 的动机是什么？那马斯克在这里就回答说，他认为未来别家的 AI 别家公司做的 AI 都会很政治正确，都会服从政治正确。也就是说，当一个事情的答案跟政治正确相反的时候，他会选择说谎，就给你政治正确的答案，而不会给你真相。可是他认为说 XAI 会以真相为出发点，也就是说，他愿意给出不是那么政治正确的答案，但是如果那是真的那马斯克说，如果是一些物理的问题呢，他会尽量给客观答案但如果是这种很主观的问题呢，他会先了解你的假设，然后会给你一个范围内的答案，就是一个 wide range， 一个范围内几个不同的观点，也就是说，他不会告诉你说只有这个答案是对的，而是他会告诉你说有好几种可能的答案，类似这样子那马斯克他也有讲其实他一直很担心所谓的 AGI 通用性人工智慧会不会对人类造成威胁，所以他说这是为什么他到现在才成立 XAI 的理由，就是他之前没有那么投资在这种类型的 AI 的开发的一个 那最后当然也有人会问他说，那 XAI 会不会跟特斯拉有合作呢？马斯克说，未来 XAI 会对特斯拉的一些自动驾驶的一些发展应该会有帮助。以及还有一个也是大家关心的问题，说 XAI 会不会受到政府的干扰？那马斯克的说法说，他会认为他未来的 XAI 会尽量用透明公开的原则在运作，这里面包含了一些点，就第一个，如果政府来找他们，政府来要求他们什么事情，他会去公开这件事情。第二个是我觉得有个很有趣的点就是 XAI 未来的一些重要方向是会交给大家去投票的，不过这个投票要付钱的，要付投票费，也就是说未来马斯克的这个 XAI 未来要研发什么，要做什么决定，事实上是可以在网络上可能被全世界几亿的人去投票的那可是为什么要付钱呢？我觉得就是第一个要验证你是真人嘛，第二个也要验证你是一个愿意为自己的未来赌上一些事情的人这不是简单讲空气票最廉价，但是愿意付钱的人通常会比较认真思考那所以我举个例子，可能 XAI 未来要不要发展军事 AI， 这可能就会被大家去做公众的投票那最后讲一下我对 XAI 的一些预测一些猜测。我认为 XAI 未来几个礼拜会公布的第一个产品，应该就是一个大型语言模型那也就是很有可能是马斯克之前讲的 Truth GPT 那为什么呢？为什么第一个发表的时候会是大型语言模型？因为我个人觉得，无论是特斯拉，无论是 Twitter， 都用得上大型语言模型的技术。你看，以特斯拉来讲，现在特斯拉的自动驾驶的 AI 可能也还蛮厉害，可是未来你如果要用语音去操控特斯拉，或者是让那个特斯拉的 AI 可以跟开车的人好好的对话聊天，其实你都需要大型语言模型，对不对？那或者是 Twitter 上，你无论是要辨识用户写的东西，或者是要给他推荐内容，或者是甚至要协助产生一些 AI 的内容，也用得上大型语言模型的技术所以我认为LLM 大型语言模型应该会是 XAI 的第一个重要的开发的产品线因为这个东西一做出来的，不止 XAI 自己可以推聊天机器人，它对于特斯拉、对于 Twitter 都有帮助，所以简单讲就一鱼三吃啦那长线来看，当然我之前不是说嘛，我认为 XAI 有机会成为全世界前3名的 AI 技术的提供者今天我们如果不要看那硬体的 NVIDIA， 我认为未来现在已经有明显的2个阵营嘛，第一个阵营是 OpenAI 叫微软的阵营第二个阵营是 Google 的阵营，这2个应该未来都会是领先者，但是我觉得未来 XAI 有机会成为第3个主要的 AI 技术的以服务的提供者，因为它接下来会有 XAI。那它还有特斯拉，还有 Twitter， 我觉得它也会形成一个蛮强的一个阵营而且重点是什么？如果它是唯一一个敢回答正确但不政治正确的一些答案，就是说这个东西是真的，可是别的产品因为政治不正确不敢讲这个东西的话，那其实这个产品它有独特的市场性，那我觉得可能真的就会在市场占一席之地好，那以上就是我们今天最后一个题目。那我们这我们今天的 N 观点，这个 Gen 2的 EP14就到这边了希望大家喜欢我们今天大家闲聊的题目。那最后还是感谢我们今天的干爹今天来自 AWS 的台湾云端高峰会那这一次的主题包含了生成式 AI 以及其他重要的云端议程举办时间是8月2号到8月3号，礼拜3跟礼拜4那你可以立即报名线上参加，完全免费。今天你只要在报名的过程中输入我们的 Mula 的 NIULA 在正确栏位输入，你就可以获得额外的好礼，好不好？那千万不要错过了。那我觉得谁适合的？第一个，你想要了解生成式 AI， 想学习生成式 AI；第二个是你想要学习自己怎么样进入云端产业，或者是你是初步的工程师，你想要无论在 AI 或者在云服务部分在练功，我认为 AWS Summit 这个台湾高峰会、台湾云端高峰会都是非常值得去参加的，完全免费那不要错过，赶快透过我们的资讯栏去报名吧。好，那以上就是我们今天 N 观点 EP14的节目，希望大家会喜欢我们今天的节目那也希望今天节目对大家有一些小小的一些收获那我们今天节目就到这边了，在这里跟大家说一声。拜拜。
对，像我们刚才看到这个表里面就是有这个，那这个低波动呢，结果它这5年创造出来的报酬率，5年报竟然 高过0056，市值型的 ETF， 譬如说0050啊，它的长期报酬率理论上应该要高于高股息的 ETF。
没错。
对，但是过去5年居然是高过0050。
大家好，我是燕丽，欢迎收看超前部署。今天要来讨论2个很夯的议题，第一个是0056终于改季配息了，现在看起来要来直球对决00878，到底该挑哪一档呢？还有第2个议题呢，就是呢52周纯股法也能适用在 ETF 上面，到底要如何执行？马上欢迎我们今天的大来宾是 Smart 致富月刊社长林正峰，峰哥你好。
燕你好，各位观众朋友大家好。
好，其实峰哥我想邀请很久了，可是呢，峰哥真的太忙，日理万机。
不好意思，不好意思。
好，那今天呢，很开心邀请到峰哥，主要是因为之前去跟
should make your decision. It's like one VTX's worth, right? How many VTXs are you going to buy in 3 or 4 or 5 years? The O3 has the best specs. It has 1080p resolution. It has the best range and penetration. The O3, in terms of just pure video performance, is hands down the best. That's really, I don't think it's debatable. Walksnail is arguably the best all round. And what I mean by that is Walksnail has a good video transmitter for larger quads. It has a good low light camera if you want low light, like works really well even down to almost complete darkness. It's not a true infrared night vision camera, but very, very good low light camera. Walksnail has a 1S video transmitter for use on tiny whoops. That's pretty decent. Walksnail is pretty good community integration, responding to feature requests. There are complaints about Walksnail too. I'm not trying to paint them, as perfect. There are some bugs that they haven't fixed. There are some features that people have asked for that they haven't implemented. And their overall performance, just in terms of pure image quality, range, and penetration, is not where people kind of wish it was. But overall, they're like a 7 out of 10 across the board. And DJI is like a 10 out of 10 when it comes to range, penetration, and resolution. But then when it comes to community engagement and actually taking care of their customers and not effing them over with incompatible firmware upgrades and nonsense, maybe they're like a 4 out of 10. So Walksnail's kind of like a B plus across the board, right? A B minus maybe, depending on your priorities across the board. I've even heard rumors that Walksnail is working on a fixed latency mode for racing. Probably I'm not supposed to tell you that. I've heard rumors. Wouldn't that be interesting? So some people would say pick Walksnail. HD0, the main reason to choose HD0 is if you care the most about smooth frame rate and low latency. Racers, if all you do is race, or if you're going to buy a separate system for racing, HD0 is the one to get. No question. There you go. That's my take. Will the budget build come with remote ID? Paulie shortcuts. Paulie, I will be making a video showing how, if you want to, you can put remote ID on the budget build. But it will not by default come with a remote ID module. It will be up to you to buy a remote ID module and to choose to put that on. Since it is a self-built drone, it is not required to come with remote ID from the factory, and we would certainly not impose that on you. Let's see. Oh, I'm out of order here. Fortune Cookie, thank you for a $10 super chat. Love the Flywheel review. Any chance we can see some love for the Odonata? Probably. If eventually I'll probably. I really liked flying those guys. It made me think I should fly the Odonata, which everybody loves. But now there's so much pressure. Like, oh, Barbara's going to review the Odonata. If I don't do a good job on the review, and then God forbid if I don't love it, I will get so much shit, and that kind of makes me hesitate. So I don't know. We got this question from Bjorn. The truth, the way I see it. Thanks for a $2 super chat from the all-seeing eye. Blunty. I can't find the rest of this message. Is there more, Blunty? I can't search for the all-seeing eye as a username either.
It should be the truth. Right?
Oh, the truth is. Oh, that's the username.
3.
There's no. I see.
But I think you just sent another super chat for $10 a little further down.
Analog is the way to go, he says. Oh, here we go. I got it. What is the best receiver to use with Radio Master Zorro 4-in-1 and what all ones work with it? I have the Ranger as well. Just can't figure it out. Finally got a computer again. To use with a 4-in-1? Oops. Thank you, Plenty. To use with a 4-in-1? I mean, I probably would use the RXSR from FreeSky. It'll work with FreeSky, D16 and D8, but not ACCST receivers. It'll work with FlySky, any modern FlySky receiver. It'll work with Spectrum, although I wouldn't recommend it. I would probably use the RXSR if you have a 4-in-1. That would be my choice. Continuing the super chats. We've had a ton of super chats come in. I'm gonna try to get through them. Here we go. Parkour Guy says, thank you, Parkour Guy, for a $5 super chat. Oh, I see those pinned comments, Blunty. I'll get those in just a second. Don't unpin them. I just installed an Express LRS receiver to my Easy Pilot Pro. It binds and I get the right stick inputs. When I arm full throttle, it jumps and disarms itself. Okay, so Parkour Guy, the issue here, it's one of 4 things, and I have a copy pasta for it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the copy pasta. Ready? 1 second. This is the copy pasta for that. Here is how to troubleshoot this issue. I'm going to turn my camera off, and I'm going to let you screen grab this or pause it. What you're describing is one of these 4 things, and here's the reason I'm not just reading you the answer. You need to check exactly as I described here, each of these things. A lot of times people say, oh yeah, I checked those things, and that's not it. But they're not checking it correctly, so I've worded this as carefully as I can. So what I want you to do is just pretend you're a robot and do exactly what this says without any sort of creative thinking or initiative, and check each of these 4 things exactly as shown. Okay, this one is a little bit freeform, but that's what you need to do. Catman says, is racing really only 2% of the hobby? I don't know, Catman, but that wouldn't surprise me if relatively few people race. I mean, people who race are passionate about it, but a lot of people just want to fly around. I don't know how we would know the answer. Eric Ashner wants to know what % of racers have gone to digital now. At my field, all but 1 are still flying analog. Blunty, do you know if, like, from MultiGP, from IO or something, if there's any stats anybody has published about that?
We talked about them a while back, but I'm not sure what they are offhand. There's a couple polls from different races, but I'm not sure if the last one we looked at or which one would be the best to look at currently.
Yeah, okay. Do you like remember a number for % of digital at all?
No.
You just said you didn't. MultiGP Nationals survey. Let's see if I can find this survey. It's 2018, 2017. No, MultiGP, please. Survey. If anybody has a link to the survey, put it in the chat if you can. They may not be able to because of the spam filters. I think less than half are digital for sure. Here in Knoxville at the GQ, there was only like one or two people. Like I know Josh Grau was flying digital. I can't remember. I think Kevin Turner, Evan Turner's dad, was flying HC0. Fortune HC0 is digital. There's no debate. I don't think there's any debate about that. HC0 is not analog. It's digital. Now there are ways in which it's similar to analog, but it is absolutely a digital transmission system, no question. Okay, continuing the super chats. Is HC0 better for cross-channel interference than analog? Thank you for a $10 super chat, Keith Moore. Do analog channels interfere with HC0? Yes. So analog and HC0 both interfere. As far as what's better, is it better for cross-channel interference? I don't know about that. Like with HC0, can you run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? I'm not sure I know of many, if any, events where there were enough HC0 pilots to really test that. Like at International Open, did they run an HC0 heat with like 6 HC0 pilots in the air? I couldn't say whether it's better, but I can tell you that analog definitely interferes with HC0 and vice versa. Rich Cordova, thank you for a $5 super chat. Let's just double check and make sure that Rich Cordova wants to know, supported drivers for DJI 03 and Windows 11, need for activation, but DJI drivers will not install. Rich, I don't know if there is a specific issue with Windows 11 and the DJI Assistant, but the DJI drivers should get installed when you install the DJI Assistant. And if they don't, I think only DJI can really help you with that. Like, I'm just going to search here real quick. Like, I'm sure you've done this, but I'm going to search for DJI Assistant Windows 11. DJI Assistant Consumer Drones. This is why I haven't upgraded to Windows 11, because I just don't want to deal with that nonsense. Release notes. I mean, why wouldn't the drivers work on Windows 11? It's the same freaking driver infrastructure, isn't it? And it doesn't say anything about supported operating systems or anything.
I have no issue updating DJI on Windows 11. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay, you have Windows 11, Lindsay?
Yeah.
He says it won't. He says the drivers won't install.
I have no
You got some kind of like virus scanner or something that you need to disable, Rich. I don't know the answer for you, but it shouldn't be any problem installing DJI Assistant on Windows. Why are you installing the drivers? Just install DJI Assistant 2 Consumer Drones Edition. That's my advice. Just install this. Consumer Drones Edition, DJI Assistant 2. The drivers should all get installed and it should just work. Good luck with that. Continuing to read the super chats. Geez, we've got a ton of super chats. Thank you guys for your generosity. We've been going since like 20 after, and we'll be getting back to the regular chat as soon as I get through the super chats. I got to try harder to get through the super chats. Thank you, SSLCM56, for a $5 super chat. If I buy a Tiny Hawk 2 Freestyle, Radio Master Boxer, and a pair of 800D goggles, what do I have to do to get them to work? Tiny Hawk 2 Freestyle, does that come with Express LRS? I doubt that it does.
Could be a 4-in-1 boxer though, right?
That's possible. He says, what do I have to do to get them to work on the ELRS? So I'm going to assume that you're buying the ELRS version of the Boxer, not the 4-in-1. Assuming that you have the ELRS version of the Boxer, what I recommend you do is look up a video for how to install a Crossfire receiver. An Express LRS receiver will drop in exactly like a Crossfire receiver. The wiring is the same. So follow this guide to solder in your Express LRS receiver, and then you have to bind the Express LRS receiver. And what I suggest is this video the easiest way to flash and bind ExpressLRS. And that'll show you how to get them bound up. Parkour guy. Follow-up to the last super chat. Props and motors are good. Blunty, what's going on with Parkour guy? He's left a lot of messages. I'm not really sure I'm following them all. Parkour guy. Oh, I see. Parkour guy. No, it's not you, Parkour guy. It's somebody else I was thinking of. I just installed an ELRS receiver to my EasyPilot Pro. It binds and I get the right stick inputs. Okay, we got that one. Props and motors are good. Okay, Parkour guy. You say props and motors are good. Maybe they are. But I'm going to tell you, I can't tell you how many times I have had this conversation with someone where they swear to me that they checked the props in the motor direction, and it turns out after a week of back and forth that they didn't. And what I mean by that is, here's a really common mistake. In your head, you know that this quadcopter is set up for props out rotation. So you check the motors and props and you go, yep, props out. But what you don't realize is that in the flight controller, accidentally, it has been set to props in rotation. How did it happen? I have no idea. But like, I can't tell you how many times this has happened. After a week of arguing with somebody and trying to help them, they go, oh, you know, I looked in the flight controller. Turns out it was set to props in. I don't know how that happened. And at no time in that whole week of trying to help them and arguing with them, did they ever actually go look to see if the flight controller was set to props out. They just assumed. So I guess what I'm saying is, and I don't want to assume, like, maybe you've checked it correctly. But just based on the back and forth here, I'm not going to make that assumption because of how common it is for people to overlook this stuff. So you say props and motors are good. And what I say is, does that mean that you actually went and looked at the motors tab, at the diagram, to see what direction the flight controller thinks the motors should be going? Or did you just look at it and go, yeah, that props out. Looks like I thought it should be. Etc. I always feel bad saying that because, like, if I'm actually talking to, like, the one person in the world who checked it correctly, then they're like, Bardwell, oh, you think I'm an idiot. No, I don't think you're an idiot. I think everyone's an idiot. I'm joking. Please take that in the spirit it was intended. Bardwell's such an asshole. He said everyone's an idiot. I thought he was hopeful. Continuing. We got this Odonata question already. We'll take that out of the chat. DJ Raw FPV says, hey JD, I already have a DJI FPV drone. Thank you for $5, DJI Raw. If I buy another drone with the DJI Run Cam, will it link with the DJI receiver? You bought the DJI FPV drone. That means you have the gray controller. Blunty, help me. Is the gray controller, right? DJI FPV drone? Oh no, is Blunty gone again?
I believe, yes, I believe that's the case. I was doing three other things. Yeah. So
Yeah,
DJI
sorry.
FPV drone gray controller is correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so if you have the gray controller, then you can only bind the gray controller to the RunCam link if you also are using Goggles 2 or Integra. The gray controller will not bind to the RunCam link if the RunCam link is bound to the V2 goggles. Which, if you got the DJI FPV drone, then you probably have the V2 goggles. So the answer to your question is probably no. DJI kind of screwed you over. So. Body by FPV says, Bardwell kind of did this to me. And it turns out I needed it because, yeah, one of my effing motors was backwards. I feel bad because, like, I had one guy get really mad at me. He was like, you were really insulting and condescending. I don't know what his exact words were, but it was like, you were really insulting and condescending to me. You talked to me like I was an idiot. And I was like, I don't take it personally. Everyone who calls tech support gets funneled into the same. If you ever worked tech support, you would know that you don't know whether the person you're talking to is a complete noob or a really experienced user. So you treat everyone like a complete noob or a complete idiot, as it were, and you check, because if you make an assumption in step 1, you're going to get to step 10 and find out you wasted all that time because the assumption you made in step 1 was false. And so you try to make no assumptions, including assuming what the user does or does not know. And it means that a user who is intelligent and knows what they're doing is going to have to kind of roll their eyes while you go through but you have to understand that's just how it is.
Also, I believe it's a rule of troubleshooting that if you do skip something, that'll be it.
Absolutely.
It seems like that's always the case. If you're like, well, it can't be that, so let's just go past that, and then you get there 10, 15, an hour later, and you're like, well, turns out that was it.
Yep. Yeah, and people email me and they think that they're having a polite conversation with the person they watch on screen, and they don't realize that they are being funneled into a troubleshooting flowchart. Because when you get 60 to 100 emails a day, you can't have a deep and personal, individualized conversation with every single one of those people. But you still want to help them. And so I just like, okay, receiver not working. Canned response is, show me picture of wiring, show me ports tab, show me receiver tab, right? And yeah, we're just going to go through that, and I'm going to try to help you. Ice Cream Hoagie, thank you for a $2 super chat. What Fat Shark micro quad is the quietest but still fun? Is FS Fat Shark? I assume it's Fat Shark. Is he talking about Walk Snail? I would assume he's talking about Walk Snail.
Or Fly Sky? But I don't know.
Ice Cream Hoagie, you need to tell us what FS means, otherwise we can't answer your question. Freestyle? Crafted Quad says freestyle. That actually makes the most sense. What freestyle micro quad is the quietest but still fun? A 1S 3-inch toothpick is the answer to that question. If you disagree, you are wrong. I love doing that just to piss people off. People who love the Odonata are going to jump up and say, you need a little quad like the Odonata or the Fly Sky 1.6 inch or the Babito. Are those quieter than a 3-inch toothpick, though? That's the question. Are they quieter than a 3-inch toothpick? I don't know, but I suspect that the larger 3-inch props are going to be quieter, because in general, bigger, slower props are quieter, but then the bigger, heavier quad is going to be louder. I would argue that a 1.6 inch is not quite as quiet as a 3-inch toothpick. So if you care the absolute most about noise, then a 3-inch 1S toothpick like a baby tooth. You're going to have to build it yourself, though. That's the thing. If you want something just to buy off the shelf, get something like, do you think, again, chat, I'm looking at you. Is a 2-inch going to be quieter than a 1.6? Don't know about that. That's a tougher one. So, Crux 3, the Happy Model Crux 3 would be an off-the-shelf choice. Happy Model Crux 3. So if you want to, okay, great. The collective consciousness has settled on an answer. I knew we'd get there. And I get to keep all the super chat money. Isn't that nice? So Happy Model Crux 3.5? Is the Crux 3.5? No, we did Crux 3, not the Crux 3.5. Crux 3 is a better choice. Excuse me. Happy Model Crux 3. This is the off-the-shelf one you should get. Happy Model Crux 3. This is a fun little ripper. Very, very quiet on bi-blades. This is like pretty much the right choice. There you go. And I think it's going to be quieter than almost anything else you get. And going to have plenty of acro performance. Buy an extra frame, says Machine Head, if you buy the Crux 3. Fair enough. Chris Baca asked, is there a way to recover a corrupted Fat Shark DVR that was powered down before stopping the recording? Yes, Chris, this is not a sponsored post. This is what I use. Especially ever since I started working with digital video transmitters, I don't know why it is. It seems like they corrupt files so much, and I don't know why. Hello? Did I start this app? Hello? I really think I started this app, but there it is. Here it comes. So the app is Wondershare Recover It. Wondershare Recover It. I'm gonna try. I'll put the about page up. I should put the web page up. I'm bringing up the app to show you guys that this is what, like, I use this on a daily basis. I have a problem. I run into this problem, and the DJI, like, I'll have an SD card in my DJI goggles that the DJI goggles can read, but as soon as I put it in the computer, it says it acts like the disk isn't even formatted, and I have no effing idea why. And Wondershare Recover It has saved me so many times. In addition, oh, I'm sorry, hang on, my bad. Wondershare Recover It gets lost files off your SD card. That's not what you're asking for. I'm very sorry. You want Repair It. Wondershare Repair It repairs broken video files. They're not cheap, but if you, like, they've saved my ass so many times. Yeah, Wondershare Video Repair. It can repair those files. That guy Blue, thank you for a $5 super chat. After a hard landing and a light crash, GPS won't find any sats. Should I replace the flight controller? I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, check the wiring. Is the GPS lit up? It's tough. That wouldn't be my first guess. My first guess would be, like, your GPS unit's messed up. I would replace the GPS first, frankly. If only because the GPS is going to be $20 to replace, the flight control is going to be $70 and going to be a lot of wiring and shit. Philip Kunes asked, is there a 5-inch bind and fly for under 200 euros and under 250 grams? No. 5-inch under 250 grams, extremely specialized, extremely rare. If you want to be under 250 grams, you want to be in the 3.5 to 3-inch or smaller category. If you want to build a 5-inch bind and fly under 250 grams, that's a tall order. The oh my god, frickin', what the frick is it called? 250, thank you. The oh my god 250 fits the bill. It's not going to be 200 euros to build. No way. The analog version, I think you could probably get in for $350 bucks. I'm just guessing. But you want to be aware that building a 5-inch under 250 grams, you're making a lot of compromises in terms of durability. And I would encourage you to rethink that, and unless you just absolutely want a 5-inch. I think most people are going to get better served by like a 3.5-inch if they need to stay under 250 grams. Let's go to fpvknowitall.com and search for sub 250 grams. Are any of these around 200 euros? That's the big up. We want an analog. Do they not have the analog version anymore? It's hard to find the analog version. How much is the Smart 3.5 analog? I don't know, because GetFPV's website is slow as shit. $239. So I would steer you this direction. It's not under 200 euros, but I think you're going to struggle to get there. What about... Oh, Baby Ape 2. Oh, there you go. All right, so if you're willing to go down this small, the Baby Ape 2 is only $100 and is pretty solid. Crux 3.5. Is that under $200, Machine Head? Not on. I don't look on Amazon. The price will be wacky. Oh, that's solid. Happy Model Crux 3.5. 142. Solid choice. Yeah, I would steer you away from 5-inch if sub 250 is your goal. That's my opinion. Stellar FPV. Thank you for a $10 super chat. Can you take a look at XOXL Soxo FPV's Mini 1S Stingray Y4? Where is that? I'm going to put that exact text into the chat and see what we come up with. Stingray Y4. What is a Y4? We got here. Oh, it's tiny. He's a tiny boy. Have we got any? Oh yeah, here we go. What do we got? Oh, there we go. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so it's a Y4. It's small as shit. That is really small. I got some custom, looks like it's ABS maybe, or carbon nylon parts. Damn. That is he talking? No, it's music. Is he talking? Alright, but I don't want to let the music play. Oh, and it's not in English. Okay, hang on. We can do this. Auto translate. To what? Why would you do this, YouTube? You know what language I want. Also, fuck alphabetical order. English should be on the top. That's right, I said it. That's a really cool little build.
You know we can't see the screen, right? I just want to make sure.
What are you talking about?
Like, it looked like you're looking at a thing on the computer, but I didn't know if you wanted to show us that.
No, I'm showing the video.
Right, but we can't see that. Or, oh, is that only me that can't see that?
I think it's only you, Blunty. There's something wrong
normally
with
you
your
show me
feed.
the feed, not the...
Are you not getting the feed?
I can see you, not the feed.
Oh.
Or the feed is showing
Oh, shit. Have you seen the screen at all through this whole thing?
you. No.
Oh, my God. Oh, I had a... That's weird. And then when I started this morning, I was on screen and I was like, oh, we're good to go. I'm sorry, Blunty. You haven't been looking at my feed this whole time.
No problem.
All right.
We work
thank
with
you.
what we got.
Again, you work with me. Let me ask you this, Blunty. If I was one of your employees at the cannabis grow and we translated my performance in this job, I don't just mean like in its totality over to my performance as one of your employees, how many times would we have had a conversation about it?
A few times the conversation.
Uh-huh.
But you definitely still be... The fact that you're even trying and can recognize that you're making mistakes puts you in at least the top 50%.
Okay, fair. I feel like that's fair. I said in its totality because I was hoping you would give me some credit for like being one of the biggest YouTube channels in FPV. Like on some level, I should get credit for that. So the fact that, like, I was hoping you would be like, well, you know, you screw up every now and then, but you're a real rock star most of the time. I don't know. I
see.
That's cool though. I'll take what I can get. Oh my goodness, what's going on the screen? That's a cute little. Here's the thing though, and this is a cool quadcopter. Why is it better than like just an X geometry? He says that I've flown a Y4 before, and people want a Y4 to be like a tricopter, but it isn't, because it isn't. And it seems like an X4 is going to give you better yaw authority. Not yaw authority. An X4 is going to give you better roll authority because you got your roll axis has two motors working instead of just one, and it's going to give you slightly more efficiency because you don't have two coaxial motors. I really would like to see a version of this that is a symmetrical X4. This is cute and cool, but I suspect a symmetrical X4 would fly better. And I wish you would make one. I think when he says that the Y4 flies better, some argument could be made that the X4 is such a ridiculous dead cat, and that's part of the problem. So that's what I would say. This is cool. Blunty, we should put this on the news. I think this is like cool enough to be newsworthy, although I'm not going to be in charge of that for the next couple of weeks, so you'll decide for yourself. But I wish that XOXO or Soxol or whoever, however you say the name, would make a proper X4 geometry instead of a Y4. Anyway. Thank you for pointing that out, though. It was very cool to learn about that. Okay, we got that from Truth the Way I See It. That guy Blue, can you recommend an FC with barometer and 6 motor outputs? Sure. I mean, there's a ton of them. But why not? Why not? Why not the JBF7? My flight controller. Barometer, yes. 8 motor outputs, yes. $84, okay, shut up. JBF7, sure. We gotta look at the... Does the Speedy BF405 have 8 motor outputs and a barometer? I mean, it probably... Shut up! How is it $35? Are you joking? It's gotten cheaper. This used to be 40-ish. What the frick? What the frick? Does it have 6 motor outputs? I mean, got it. Sure, it must, right? Yeah, motor 6, motor 7, motor 8, motor 5. Does it have a barometer? I mean, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, barometer. Okay. So, like, for sure, like, get the JBF7, right? It's a good flight controller, but geez, for $35, why wouldn't you buy the Speedy BF405? Well, there you go. It's a solid flight controller for the money. Can you bind the Radiomaster Zorro to the Tiny Hawk 2? You can bind the 4-in-1 Radiomaster Zorro to a Tiny Hawk 2 using D8 mode. The Tiny Hawk comes with a D8 receiver by default. Dad by affiliation, thank you for a 50 Norwegian kroner. We are almost caught up on the super chats. This has been a doozy. You guys have been extremely generous, and I thank you very much. Although the people who are waiting to get their questions answered in a regular chat are resentful. I got my brand new Mobula 8 analog with the Cadix and the OSD is the right way, but the FPV image is upside down. Can I rotate it somehow? I'm sorry. That means the... Blunty, does that mean... That means the camera is installed the right way up, but the sensor is upside... What does that mean, Blunty? What does that mean? That means the camera is flipping the image. I can't think... There's no way, if you mounted the camera upside down, the OSD would be upside down. If somehow the sensor was installed upside down in the camera, I think the OSD would still be upside down. I'm not sure.
If you go in and change the flip in software, does that flip the OSD too?
I'm not convinced that the flip does not. The flip would not. So go into the does the Cadix Ant even have a freaking joystick? Cadix.
Oh, it's an analog.
Ant. It's an analog. Yeah.
I just missed that one.
It's a Cadix Ant. Surely it has a menu. Okay, so it does have a menu. I can see the plug for the joystick. Okay, so you need to plug in to this 2-pin plug on the right here, or on the on the right. I hope that the camera came with a joystick. It does. The camera comes with a joystick. You need to go into the menu and see if there's an option to flip the screen. I don't see a reference to that in this page, so I don't know. Not every camera can flip.
Dad by affiliation in the chat says joystick settings don't have an image flip.
Okay. Also, people are telling me the Mob 8 comes with camera control enabled, so you don't need the joystick, but it doesn't matter because if it doesn't have an image flip, what that means is the camera has the sensor installed upside down. I think the sensor is upside down. Dad by affiliation, some cameras have 2 menus, one accessible by clicking the center and one accessible by pressing the up key. Have you checked both menus? I can't find a reference whether it has vertical flip in the menu. I think I don't. Oh, look, here's the exact same problem. Depending on how close the camera flip camera set down. No. I think the sensor may be upside down. Body by FPV says, I've got that camera, I'm going to check it out. Okay, Debt by Affiliation, we will come back to this after Body by FPV looks into it. Okay. Tom White, thank you for a $10 super chat. I had a crash where the FC and ESC plug burned on the FC end. New build with only ESC carried forward. Motors are getting burning hot, just idling and sound rough. Is the ESC bad? I mean, here's how to tell if the ESC is bad. Tom White. Use the motors tab sliders instead of arming. When you use the motors tab sliders, the flight controller, the gyro and the filters and the PIDs are completely removed from the equation. And if the motors are super hot when using the motors tab sliders, that is a mechanical problem, like the ESC is damaged or your motor screws are too long and are touching the windings. It is not related to the flight controller itself, though. Ice Cream Hoagie asked, with a $5 super chat. Ice Cream Hoagie asks, what's the quietest but still fun freestyle micro format? I think we kind of answered that question. It's 3-inch toothpick, in my opinion. Quietest but still fun. If you really want to do like proximity bashing, like jungle gym bashing or indoor flying, there's an argument to be made that you're better off with something with prop guards because it'll take the hits better. Whereas a 3-inch toothpick, you're smacking those props around. That's going to be way more likely to break the motors because of the leverage on the motor, and the props are going to break. So it's arguable that some people would prefer prop guards even though they fly worse. So maybe like a 75 millimeter, somebody would say that's the right choice. But I would say for freestyle, for all except like really tight proximity where you're going to be bouncing off the obstacles, probably 3-inch toothpick is the choice. Meteor 75 Pro, exactly, Machine Head, something like that. Saad says, thanks for all the videos, JB. I got me incensed with flying, and thank you for a $10 super chat, Saad. What's a good radio for a beginner on PS5 Sim? PS5 simulator. What sim is he talking about? Is it DRL? There is a sim that works with regular controllers on PS5, isn't there? I think there is. I would say any of the radios, if the PS5 can take generic HID controllers, generic joysticks, then any of the controllers at my website, wrong button, any of the controllers at my website on the controllers and receivers page should be usable because they all can act as a sim joystick. I think that for somebody coming from a video game controller, the Radio Master Zorro is a solid choice because it looks and feels a lot more like a video game controller. DJI Raw says, I sent a photo on feedback. Is that the right setup for my DJI Gray receiver? Where is that photo? DJI Raw, where is that photo?
Yes.
Is DJI Raw on the Discord? Is there an email from DJI Raw? I'm gonna check DJI Raw. I'm not sure where you sent me that photo though. I don't see that photo, DJI Raw. I'm not sure where you sent it. Steve Tricks, glad you're liking the DeWalt driver. I'm a big fan of it myself. DJI Raw, I think you better just email me, dude. I'm not sure where this photo is that you're talking about. Sorry about that. Should I put Blue Jay on my Tiny Hawk 2? Thank you, Truth the Way I See It, for another $2. No. Probably not. I would just fly it as it is. Some ESCs, if you put Blue Jay on them, they don't like it and they brick. Not common. I think the Tiny Hawk 2 flies pretty good with Emax's settings. If you decide you want to, it's like, I like to say that there's a difference between a daily driver and a project car. If this is your daily driver quad, just fly it as Emax delivered it. It's pretty good. If you decide to make it a project and you're going to try to make it fly better, then put Blue Jay on it and start tuning it. But be aware that there's a chance you'll like F it up and not be able to fly it anymore. Body by FPV confirms there is no image flip on the Caddx Ant. If your Caddx Ant is upside down, I think you have to open the camera up and flip the sensor. Or get a new camera. Oh my god, I think we're caught up on Super Chats. I think we are caught up on Super Chats. We are. Whew. Parkour guy, we got. Cathode, we got. I'm clearing Super Chats, Blunty. We're going to pause the Super Chats here. We will get back to Super Chats before the end of the stream. We've just spent over an hour reading Super Chats, and that is going to do it for that. Machine Head says, how is he going to flip the sensor? I don't know. Like on some cameras, you can just open the back of the camera up and flip the sensor around. Flip the board around. Is that not, I mean, maybe that's not possible in the Caddx Ant. Maybe the sensor was literally installed on the board upside down. If that's the case, I don't think you can fix it. Like, you could flip the camera upside down, but then your OSD is upside down. Isn't it? Then your OSD will be upside down. That's no good. I would try to send it back. Don't fuck around with it anymore. Send it back. All right. All right. It's time to take questions. What do you mean the OSD won't be upside down?
3.
If you have a camera and you flip the whole camera upside down, the OSD will turn upside down too. Right?
Yes.
Yes, of course. Because the top of the screen is based on the signal sent from the camera. And so if the whole camera turns, yeah. But if the sensor is a separate device that you can flip just the sensor, then the OSD will not. There is no vertical flip in the menu. That's what I'm telling you. There is no vertical flip in the menu. Okay. All right. Wear your goggles upside down. Troncat FPV with a real insight. That's why Troncat got 2 million views on this video. Troncat. Troncat with 2 million views on his build video. And he didn't even, Troncat, you didn't even show the beta flight setup. You got I'm so mad at you. You got 2 million views on your build video. You didn't even show the beta flight setup. You son of a bitch. How dare you be so successful? I talked about you with my therapist last week. I showed her my analytics and I was like, I don't have a single video over 1 million views. That SOB puts out a build video. It was only 25 minutes long. Got 2 million views. Anyway, congratulations on your success. That's a good video.
3, 4.
Ciati's here. Good to see you, Ciati. That's why you got so many views. Nobody wants that boring beta flight nonsense. Yeah, fair enough.
And
Mike Curran, Blunty, are you queuing up non-super chat questions? Oh, I see. I had the filter on. All right, Mike Curran, we're gonna get this. This will be the last super chat before we do another batch later in the stream. I just bought a 3.5-inch grinder Reno. No clue what motor and props to go for. Any suggestions? Ciati! 3.5-inch grinder Reno. Best motor and props. Ciati is the man to answer this question. And although he is in the chat and he will answer it, he also has answered it here on my website, fpvknowitall.com, where we've got a sub 250 gram page that will answer that question. Motors, Ciati, what do you got? Really? 1404, is that the right choice? $1604, $1804. You should pick one of these motors. I personally would go towards like the bigger motors. I feel like 1404, unless you absolutely need to stay under 250 grams. And a 3.5-inch, I would probably skip the 1404s though. Ciati says 1604 minimum, yeah. Looks like we got a little typo here. Whoops, sorry about that. Yeah, get one of these motors from my website. Okay, thank you, Ciati, for that. Okay, let's take some questions. Mo says, where's Bardwell's Week 9 IGAO submission? I guess I should submit since I sponsored this week. I've been super busy and did not submit. I didn't officially submit any of them, though. But I've been watching them, and you guys are kicking ass. Jerry X4 says, what is with props? I got told more pitch equals more response, more control. That doesn't seem right. Higher pitch props will be less responsive. I guess they'll make more thrust, so maybe the quad will respond faster. Yeah, I don't know who told you that. More pitch equals more response, more control. Lower pitch props are generally more responsive, but make less thrust and are smoother. Okay. Let's see here. Andy D asks, are F3 flight controllers for the bin, or does someone still support it? Google Chrome forces me to remove older versions of Betaflight. Andy D, you definitely need to stop using the Google Chrome-based version of Betaflight Configurator. Download the actual executable file, the installer, and use the standalone version. Google dropped support for third-party apps or something like that some years ago, and the Betaflight configurator on Chrome hasn't been updated in forever. Betaflight has not had support for F3 flight controllers since, I think, was it 3. What was the last version of Betaflight to support F3? It was somewhere around 3.2 or 3.5. I can't remember exactly when it got cut off. I think that probably do F3s run 357? 357 was okay, but you can't install 357. So what you would need to do is first download the old version of Betaflight that goes with 357, and then you would need to flash 357 to the flight controller and so forth. So I think that for most people, it's going to be a struggle to use an F3 in your flight controller and as your flight controller, and I would probably use an F4 if at all possible. If it was easy to flash and manage Betaflight 357, then they would be worth using. But it's a bit of a hoop to jump through to get that
Did
one.
you mention the 4.1 builds that Mark Spatz does?
I didn't. Yeah, the performance builds.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could download those. Yeah, because you could flash them with the modern configurator, right?
Yes.
Where is that? Here we go. it's worth mentioning. That's fair. So you can go to theuavtech.com/performance-edition, and you can download
Right.
Betaflight 411 either with or without RPM filtering. And there are videos here showing you how to flash them. I guess that's the way to keep an F3 alive today.
Beta parties.
And we'll put a link to that in the chat in case you need it.
Yes, made of parts. Yes.
Leo Root wants to know what's the action camera of choice today. Debating switching to a GoPro. Sadly, my last GoPro Hero 8s, when I went to Best Buy to get them replaced, Best Buy no longer has Hero 8s, and there are no longer, I can't even get them online. So this Best Buy gift card, which has 2 GoPro Hero 8s on it, I don't know what I'm going to spend it on. I have to say, if I was, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to break my last few Hero 8s, and then I'm going to have no action cameras, and I have like $1,000 in gift cards from my insurance, and I'm going to pick another one and buy 4 of them, or whatever. I think the Hero 11 Mini would be the next place I would go because of the weight and size. I just find the weight of even a Hero 9, 10, 11, I find the weight of those to be really hard to stomach. And I'm not a prima donna about weight. No, about my quadcopter's weight, but I do like to have them be as light as reasonable. Joseph Dahari says, I've got some new Hero 8s. I'll trade you one for that gift card. Joseph, only if you also sell me insurance so that when I break them, you give me my money back, which of course you wouldn't do. And frankly, I have no idea why Best Buy keeps giving me my money back, but they do. So I'm going to keep buying whatever I can get at Best Buy as long as they sell me insurance, because I can't conceive of how much money they've lost on me. And God, if you look at somebody like Cricket, who breaks 0-10 like if they're going out of style. So I think the 11 Mini, however, the 11 Mini have the 11 Minis issues where it like locks up in the middle of a flight, or it locks up while it's charging. Have they fixed that? Because that scares me a little bit, and I'm not convinced that they fixed it. I don't know.
No.
It would be great if in the next like month or so, GoPro releases a new like Hero 11 session.
Yes.
Baldman FPV, I will not be going to the Action 2. The exposure of the Action 2 makes me want to gouge my eyes out. Even if you accept the dynamic range as acceptable, the exposure algorithm, the way it lightens and darkens, is horrible. I would post video from the Caddx Vista DVR before I posted in Action 2. You have to lock the settings, Stevatrix FPV says. Yeah, but then your exposure isn't correct. Then your exposure isn't correct when you go into a dark spot. It's underexposed or it's overexposed. So. Even the 11 Mini is pretty heavy. I wish the 11 Mini had like a removable battery or some other way to make it lighter. Or I wish the mythical new Hero session would come out. Cole Anderson says the 11 Mini's never given me any issues, and I bought it from release. 11 Mini works fine, no lockup yet. Joseph Dahari says still an issue. See, that's why I'm hesitant to drop $1,000 or something on it, on 3 or 4 of them. Would you return the same day? The transition time is the worst on the Action 2. Throw an ND and overexpose a bit. I'm not happy with that solution. Sorry. I know if that works for you, great. I'm not happy with that. Didn't you order a Hero 11 Mini on stream, Gary Hurst asks. I did. I still have that one. But it's not like, if I'm going to make an action camera my, like, sort of freestyle daily driver, then I'm going to buy 4 or 5 of them so I have them when I'm, like, doing a rotorized shoot or something. And I'm going to have, that's going to be what case is on all of my quadcopters. So I have one 11 Mini, just as kind of like a tester unit. I was going to review it, but I never got around to reviewing it. Tronket says, I've had one Hero 11 Mini lock up, the other one seems fine. Yikes. It would suck if you lost footage because it locked up. Tell you what. Let's see here. Jonas Dietrich wants to know, should a beginner use 6S or start with 4S? We debated this a little while back. 4S batteries are a fair whack cheaper. If money is a concern, you can certainly do okay with 4S, but most people feel that 6S has an advantage, and many people who start with 4S will end up upgrading to 6S before those batteries are used up. So if you have the money to buy batteries, you probably should start on 6S. But if you're very price sensitive, 4S is okay. That's my official answer right now. Akira Lyle wants to know, can you use a 6S 4000 milliamp hour battery on a 5-inch nozzle Evoque? They offer it for the F6, but not the 5-inch. No, I think that's too heavy. Akira Lyle, like, a rule of thumb is that the battery should be about half the dry weight of the quad. So if the quadcopter weighs 400 grams without the battery, then the battery should weigh about 200 grams. That's for a reasonably acrobatic performance. So you could go, like, you could have a 300 gram battery on a 400 gram quad, but getting 6S 4000, like, what does that battery weigh? What does it weigh? Are you talking about the full sense lithium ion? I think you must be. What does it weigh? 400, yeah, so that battery is nearly as heavy as the quad itself. That's pushing it. The other thing is that the 6-inch quadcopter is going to be a little more efficient. And so this battery is not going to potentially have the current capacity to deliver the number of amps that a 5-inch freestyle drone is going to want. That's the other reason they don't recommend it. Is my guess. Night Owl wants to know, what's the right place for sourcing enamel wire for replacing an ELS antenna on a whoop? Can I use motor windings? You can use motor windings. The difference is that motor windings will often have high temp enamel on them that you can't just burn off with a soldering iron. So you would need to use sandpaper or something to scrape the winding off, which is not really necessary to have high temp enamel for a receiver antenna. The other thing you can do is you can take you could frankly use just any piece of wire. It doesn't have to be enamel wire. Any sort of piece of solid core wire of the correct length. You could just have a piece of shielded wire. Let's see here. Nagian Ahmed says, I'm going to Bangladesh from the USA. After traveling, I bought a DJI FPV drone here in the US. Airlines told me drones are not allowed, although it's not written anywhere on their website. What I would do, Nagian, is put the drone in your checked bag, carry the batteries with you. Do not put the batteries in the checked bag. There is no prohibition against having a drone in your checked bag. You had a miscommunication. The batteries will go through security. They'll look at them. Frankly, if they're DJI batteries, they probably won't even look at them suspiciously. Like, mini quad batteries kind of look weird with wires and shit. Eric Asher says check for battery size limits. There's no way that a DJI FPV drone battery isn't okay for carry-on. DJI wouldn't do that. Like if we were talking about a giant quad, like like an S1000 or something, maybe. But DJI FPV drone, the batteries are going to be fine to carry on. Now, whether you will be able to bring the drone into Bangladesh, I can't tell you. But as far as the airline restrictions, put the aircraft itself in your check bag. No one cares. The batteries are the only thing they care about. Carry the batteries with you. End of story. Eric Ashner, I think your recollection is wrong about batteries. Each individual battery has to be under 100 watt hours. You may have as many as you want, as long as each individual battery is under 100 watt hours. You may have up to 2 batteries of 150 watt hours, is my recollection. Says Steve Tricks, I can't say whether Bangladesh customs are going to care. That's not my area of expertise. We are getting close to the end of the stream. I'm going to clean out the last of the super chats. This is your last chance to sneak a super chat in before we're done. DJI Ra says, I emailed you the photo. Okay. DJI Ra has left several super chats. Let's see if we can get this photo from them.
Outdated.
Here we go. Is this the right setup for my DJI Gray receiver? Okay, once again, you can bind this setup to either the V2 goggles or the goggles 2. However, the firmware that you use is different. If you bind to the V2 goggles, the firmware that you use will not bind to the Gray V2 controller. If you change the firmware on the air unit to the firmware that binds to the goggles 2, then you can bind it to the Gray controller. The answer to whether you can bind the Gray controller to this quad depends on which goggles you have.
It's correct. Yeah.
Okay? That's how that works. Demir FPV says, I'm a medical doctor in Turkey and I have a very stressful job. Yeah. I would like to thank you for teaching me a great hobby. Do you like my TBS 15-minute edit? Blunty, thank you for 110 Turkish something. Turkish currency. Blunty, he sent it to the 15-minute edit of the TBS story. He edited it down for us. We had said on the news, this whole TBS story is interesting, but I don't want to listen to a 2-hour live stream just to find out, the little nuggets of what happened. And I was like, if somebody edits it down to 15 minutes, I'll listen to it. Well, he did.
I just want to point out, you said that before you left. But you're not going to be on the next show.
What's that?
You kind of said that after you're not going to be on the next show, so you mean I have to do that, is what you said.
You don't have to do it. It's your show.
I don't think a 15-minute edit helps anything, personally. That's not my problem with it. The problem is there's not an official documented press release that goes out.
Yeah, fair enough. I am still going to watch this because he took the time to edit it down. I'm going to try and watch it and get the gist of it. If he took the time to do it, I'm going to respect that. But you don't have to cover it. By the way, for those who don't know, I guess no one knows because I haven't told anybody yet, I will not be here this week. I'm going to Kentucky with Ken Heron and another YouTube creator who flies planes, and we are going to do some drone and plane related content. And so Tuesday, I will be with Ken Heron doing that. And Blunty we're going to do something different for the news instead of canceling the news. And I will not reveal the surprise, but there will be a surprise co-host. The surprise co-host may already have talked about this, in which case it's not a surprise. It's fine. And I will also be gone next weekend, this coming weekend. Is that right?
And the weekend after, yes.
Yes. What is it? It's Sunday. Oh my God. It's time to start freaking out. Oh my god. Yeah, time to start freaking out. This trip has been coming, and I've been like heads down trying to get everything done before I go on this trip. And now it's going to come, and I'm going to start freaking out. Okay. But Blunty and a surprise guest co-host are going to cover the news while I'm gone. But no one is going to cover my live stream slots. There will be no... If you just keep an eye on the live stream section of my channel when the next live stream comes, I think it's going to be...
August the 6th is what I have.
You say that,
If
but I'm
you
gonna
make that one.
I'm gonna have been in a different time zone for 2 weeks, and then just get back. I don't even know when my flight comes in. I wouldn't count on August 6th, and then I'm leaving again on the 12th, and gonna be gone. I actually perhaps think I might be gone until August 27th. The 6th is pretty iffy given time zone bullshit and everything. So you guys are going to have a long time to do the news. We're going to see how that goes. But it's definitely for a good cause. So, I don't know my opinion it is. Anyway. We got another super chat from The Truth the Way I See It. BL Helly or what else? I don't really understand that. The Truth the Way I See It. It seems like you want to have a conversation, and I do appreciate all the super chats you're leaving because I like money, but it's the best way to have a conversation is to email me, jb@joshuabarwell.com, and we can talk about pretty much whatever you want to talk about. Thank you for your donation. And thank you for your donation. Odie5, thank you for a €5 super chat. If I update all my DJI to the newest firmware, my DJI Black controller is useless, isn't it? Yes, that is correct. It is useless. You need to stop. So first of all, if you have the V2 goggles, just don't update your firmware. There's no need to update your firmware. Stop at firmware 0608 and life is fine. If you need to use the goggles 2 or the goggles Integra, then your Black controller is now useless. Sorry, DJI just made this decision and there's nothing you can do about it. Got a 3.5-inch quad carry, a GoPro Hero 7. Philip Kunes, thank you for €249. I am guessing it would take off, but I don't think you would enjoy the way that it flew. Captain Vlad Tepes says, I'm considering switching from my X9D to a TX16S Max, but the internal module seems weak. Should I get the 4-in-1 and use an external module? So if you really feel like you need that 1-watt output, then yeah, that's the way to go. The 250 milliwatts is okay. If you make sure to use an EP1 receiver with an external antenna, and if you're not like running 1,000 hertz, you'll be okay with 250 milliwatts. But if you really want that 1 watt of power, then sure, get the external module. Lucas Justo, thank you for a $2 super chat. I want to buy a 100 to 200. Any quads in mind? Lucas, at that price point, I would be looking at something in the micro size factor. Unfortunately, with just a budget, like what kind of flying are you trying to do? Are you interested in racing, freestyle, cinematic? Like, what video system are you looking at? Do you want DJI? Do you want analog? I don't think that there is enough information there to make like a blanket recommendation for you. So. No, Mo, you're hurting me. You're hurting my soul. Mo. This is not okay. GoPro Hero 9 on the Emax Babyhawk 2 HD. Oh, he took the battery out, though. He's got the battery removed. That makes a big difference. I bet it's... I didn't say it wouldn't fly. I just said I don't think you would like how it flies. Oh, my God. Do we have sound?
Fuck.
I don't want to get copyright, whatever, so there's music, so I'm not going to play the sound. Oh, my goodness gracious. Flight time, 1 minute. It's flying pretty smooth. It's stabilized. It's stabilized, so the smoothness is helped by the stabilization. I mean, he's not doing any crazy acro either. He's like just doing smooth cruising. Mo says it flies, but not good. Yeah, this is what you can expect from it. Oh, Mo, what are you doing? Don't fly over the street, Mo. Okay, you're flying over a parking lot. That is like it's a yellow card for flying over the parking lot, but you didn't fly over the street. If you fly over cars in the street, I'm gonna have to shut down the stream. And like, is that you? That's you. Okay, you're good. That you didn't fly over the person. I'm wincing at you flying over this active street though, because like cars could be coming, and that makes me feel bad. I don't like that. Currently there are no cars, but I saw cars. I feel better if you stayed over the construction area. It's okay. It's flying okay. Alrighty. Well, we are just about to the end of the stream. Aaron Ciotti is going to be streaming in just a minute, and he's posted the link to his stream here in the chat. Thank you plenty for pinning that. Appreciate that. Ciotti is going to be doing trick tips and dialing in his dives, as well as a Q&A. Also, he's going to be presenting us with the swear word of the week. Swear word of the week. Ciotti just searches the world for new ways to offend censors and curse out people he doesn't like. You know, I think we can all look forward to that. So his live stream link is getting posted now. We got one more super chat from Lucas Middleton. Thank you for $5. Two more super chats. You ever get so upset because you've been flying for so long, but it seems you've forgotten how to fly? Lucas Middleton, I don't feel like I backslide, but I do get frustrated at how my lack of progress. Of course, if I really cared about that, I'd practice more. So I have a realistic take on it. Ciotti didn't think about a swear word of the week. Ciotti, I joke because Ciotti swears on his streams, and I don't swear as much. I don't swear very much on my streams, but if you meet me in real life, you might be surprised at how much I swear. So I think it's hilarious that Ciotti gets shit from his viewers because he swears too much, and I am seen as like squeaky clean, which is completely not true. So I make fun of Ciotti for swearing because of that. That's the joke. But in all seriousness, Ciotti, if you did start doing a swear word of the week, well, like you would have to like leave the English language and search for obscure swear words from other languages. If you did a swear word of the week, I think that would be hilarious, and you're welcome to take that. Square One, thank you for a €5 super chat. On 3-inch with DJI O3 and T-Motor Mini Stack telemetry and OSD won't work. Checked MSP UART preset for beta flight telemetry on radio via crossfire. Okay. Square One, this is the kind of question that, especially at the very end of a live stream, we don't have time to dig into. I would encourage you to email me, jb@joshuabardwell.com. And in fact, since you super chatted, I will give you special permission to email patrons@joshuabardwell.com. Or is it patrons@fpvknowitall.com? It actually doesn't matter. That's my special email for patrons that gets sort of top priority, and so I want to respect the donation via the super chat and make sure I get back to you. Let's dig into it. It's going to require some back and forth though, and we won't be able to answer that right now. So that is going to do it for the stream. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Blunty, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem.
Thank you for talking to us about cannabis too. You are such, and I mean this, you're such an interesting person, and as soon as like you ask a question about something you're interested in, you always have such deep and thoughtful answers, and I really wish people got to see that side of you more, and that's why I randomly throw you questions, just put you on the spot in the middle of a stream. So I hope it's okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. That's it, guys. We're going to wrap up. Have a great stream, Ciotti, and we will see you. I will see you. I don't know when I'll see you again. Goodbye! I'll see you at the end of August. I'm about to have a wild adventure. But there will still be videos posted to the channel. God damn it, I'm not letting that slide. Bye, everybody.
this optimism. He goes on to say, absent the tightening of financial conditions, inflation may re-accelerate in early 2024. Now, Matt Miskin, I'd love your view on that. Which one is it? Should we fully embrace this disinflation playbook, or do you listen to Andrew Holdenhorst and say, hold up, there's more to come?
Well, I don't think that inflation is even the biggest risk anymore. You know, it's amazing. We're myopically focused on inflation. That's all the market seems to care about. And I do welcome disinflation. I mean, there's nothing better than the smell of disinflation in the morning. And you hear about car prices being slashed this morning, and it's like, that's great. But why, when car prices or any of these prices are coming down, what does that mean? That means revenue growth is coming down. And you're also hearing about wages still being elevated. So that's margin compression. What are businesses going to do with margin compression? They're going to have to cut costs. And overall, inflation coming down is going to mean weaker nominal growth. Global growth is slowing right now. And U.S. growth, while it's holding up the best in our view, is even slowing as well. So we think that the number one focus of inflation is actually misguided. It should be on growth trends. And growth trends are decelerating globally. That's going to be the biggest risk. And that actually to us means that treasury yields still have more work to do in terms of repricing.
And Matt, I'd also assume that based on what you just told me, you don't see much support for equities.
It's just tapped out. The multiple's gone from 16 times at the beginning of the year to 19 times now. It's all sentiment. It's amazing seeing that montage, John, because I guess I'm out of the loop as of late at how much now the soft landing is the number one narrative. Well, it's priced in. If high yield spreads are 379, the lowest year to date, the VIX is at the lowest year to date, and the multiple's gone up, the multiple has basically driven all the return in the market year to date, meaning it's all been sentiment driven. To us, this is pricing in soft landing, if not better. So if you want to say, hey, what if the consensus narrative doesn't play out? You can get protection right now pretty cheap. Protection is on sale in portfolios, and that's actually what we look to add to incrementally here, given the pricing of the market.
So where on the curve are you thinking? Is that put your cash at a 10-year yield, 10-year treasury bond? What are you thinking about?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're just intermediate around the 10-year. You know, we're trading at 89 cents on the dollar on investment grade, high quality bonds. MBS securitized right now has just got crushed in the last year. The yields are about 5% on AAA paper. We're just seeing great yields, 5 to 6% on investment grade bonds in the intermediate part of the curve. We'll look for the 30-year and even longer duration probably by the end of the year. For now, we're just getting paid to be in the intermediate. You're getting a lot of bang for your buck there. That's where we'd hold
It's
this.
such a strange moment, Colin. We've got people talking about soft landings and high yield spreads are at the tights for the year, south of 380. Then you've got people talking about recession, saying buy the 10-year. I've heard the same thing from JP Morgan Asset Management and Kelsey Berra this morning. The 10 years at 380. Is there some tension there, Colin, that we need to resolve?
Well, we're clearly seeing conflicting signals here, and I'm in agreement with Matt where I watched that montage and I didn't realize that the soft landing appeared to be the number one narrative right now. We are seeing mixed signals. Now, if you look at the performance of high yield this year, it's been one of the best fixed income asset classes out there. Based on our outlook, we're a little bit surprised, but if you look at basically the spectrum of investments this year, especially how strong stocks have done, you can't be too surprised that high yield bonds have done so well. When you look at that spread level of 3.8% or less, that in and of itself is concerning for us. It's just not much spread given what we think is still a disappointing and tough economic outlook. And when you can get such high yields without taking much risk elsewhere, now all the things that we've been concerned with are still present right now, which is what a deteriorating or slightly negative economic outlook, tightening bank lending standards, and the inverted yield curve, and what sort of message is that telling us? So everything that we've been concerned with is still there, and if anything, the declining level of spreads makes us even a little bit more cautious now and continue to focus on quality.
More bank earnings coming tomorrow morning with the likes of Bank of America and Morgan Stanley still to come. Goldman Sachs reported on Wednesday. The calendar for the economic data so far this week, pretty light. US retail sales tomorrow morning. The Fed, of course, in a quiet period. Mike McKee on top of all of that. He joined us now. Morning, Mike.
Good morning, John. Well, we start off with the New York Fed's contribution manufacturing in the New York region, and it does decline a little bit to 1.1, but we did see new orders rise, employment rise, and prices fall. So that is good news. Tomorrow, you mentioned retail sales. They're expected to be up, while industrial production is thought flat. We do get a speech from the Fed's Vice Chair, Michael it's on fair lending, so it won't have anything to do with monetary policy. So you can probably ignore that unless you're in the lending business. Housing starts, jobless claims. Those are going to be big numbers because housing has been very, very strong and jobless claims have been weak. Philly Fed, we'll see what they have to say. Existing home sales, people are not selling their houses. They don't want to walk away from their mortgages. But I would like to introduce your guest today to a couple of new indexes that we need to see growth. Well, here's the Bloomberg index surprise indexes for growth and inflation. They've come up with a new index for both that kind of separates the two out. You can see the white line there is growth, and according to Bloomberg economics analysts, it's very strong right now, pointing to a much stronger than anticipated economy, while you look at the blue line, inflation still going down as expected. So the prognosis is good going forward, at least from this new data that Bloomberg is putting out. But the question still is, what's the Fed going to do? We've got the sorting hat together and looked at where we are in terms of who's thinking what. And for the most part, people are thinking we're going to see a rate increase. And that's what's priced into the markets. The only difference with the sorting hat this time is Jim Bullard. He's not going to participate. He'll be on the Fed until or at least at the St. Louis Fed till the middle of August while he helps transition there. But everybody else except Raphael Bostic at this point is a yes or a maybe from what we've heard since the beginning of the month. So it looks like we get at least one more rate increase, John, and then it will be the data to take over. But if the data continue to be strong, you could still price in September or November.
Mike, thank you, sir. Colin Martin, is it one and done or more to come?
Right now, we think it's one and done. We think they've done so much. We need to see how long it takes to see what this really means for the broad economy. But as Mike just mentioned, things are still looking pretty good. I mean, the economy continues to surprise to the upside. So if we see more upside surprises, it's possible. But at this stage, our base case is one and done.
Man, it's hard to find, isn't it? Upside surprises for growth, downside surprises for inflation.
Yeah, I mean, that's Goldilocks, right? And I love the chart, Mike. I appreciate it. The only thing I would say right now is I believe that is a U.S. chart. And U.S. Economic Surprise Index is going up, or has been going up, and that is great. The rest of the world, though, is another story. The Eurozone Economic Surprise Index is like at a negative 100. I think they had to change the scale of the chart because it fell off so bad. China's data continues to come in worse than expected. So right now, the U.S. is holding up the global economy with that Economic Surprise Index. It's a global economy, and we think that is coming down. The other thing I would consider with that chart, I love charts, so I'm just going to go off on a little bit of a rant on charts. But there's lagging indicators in there, and there's leading indicators. The survey data, the more leading indicators have been falling more so than the coincident lagging data. The lagging data is holding up great, and a lot of that's employment or wage data or some of the more things that take time to reverse lower. So when we look at the leading indicators, though, that's the data that continues to show weakness, the surveys, the manufacturing data, so on and so forth. And that's telling you where the puck's going, and we think that surprise index is going to be rolling over as well.
Man, since you love it so much, I'll give you some more time in just a moment. We'll talk about growth in China, in Europe, and why on earth this dollar's selling off and not rallying. Given everything you've just said, Matt Biscuit, Colin Martin sticking with us. Let's get you some movies going into the opening bell about 20 minutes away. Here's Abby.
Well, John, with futures just about flat here, we do have some leaders to take a look at, starting out with the shares of Activision, which are popping higher on, it looks like the deal is game on. The FTC lost its appeal to block the $69 billion deal with Microsoft. That's about $95 per share, so you can see Activision pretty close to that. Investors weighing in, saying it is very, very, very likely to happen. Tesla up 2%. Their first Cybertruck rolled off the production line at their Giga Texas plant. Both investors and analysts are very optimistic that they will launch this vehicle in the late third quarter. And then NVIDIA Citi has raised their price target to $520 from $420, saying that the risk to reward is positive on accelerating year-over-year data center sales. Not even a mention of AI, but we do have that price target raised significantly, John.
What a run for this stock this year. Abby, thank you. More from Abby around the opening bell. Coming up, Secretary Yellen says the US is on track for a soft landing.
Slow growth in China can have some negative spillovers. For the United States, growth is slowed, but our labor market continues to be quite strong. I don't expect a recession. I think that we're on a good path.
Bloomberg's Anne Marie will catch up with AMH next. Universally important to human life as sleep, mysteries surrounding its necessity and utility have only just been recently uncovered.
Some of our biggest discoveries were in the 1970s or 1980s, and so it makes it a really exciting field because it seems as though we're uncovering new insights each and every day.
Some scientists are going further to find out how sleep and what happens there can be harnessed to further expand our understanding.
It's easy to memorize. That makes you smart. It can spit back a lot of facts. But if you want to be wise, if you really want wisdom, you gotta know when and how and why to use that information. And that's what your brain figures out while you're sleeping.
Growth is slowed, but our labor market continues to be quite strong. I don't expect a recession. I think that we're on a good path to bringing inflation down. The most recent inflation data were quite encouraging.
Exclusive conversation with Secretary Janet Yellen speaking from the G20 finance ministers meeting. Global financial leaders gathering in India, discussing global trade, debt relief and more against the backdrop of divisions over the Ukraine war and US-China geopolitical tensions. Bloomberg's Anne Marie joins us now for more. Anne Marie.
Hey, John. Well, the real takeaway from the Treasury Secretary is that she is not expecting a U.S. recession. And although we do have this slowing of momentum of growth in China, and she said that's really important for especially Asian countries as they develop, and you could see spillover effects in the United States, it does sound like her base case is that the U.S. will avoid a recession, will be a soft landing. But you have to imagine a difficult time for the Treasury Secretary as she is dealing with her Chinese counterparts. She's just off her trip from Beijing. She's in India. She's dealing with some of their deputies over in India. And we're all waiting in the United States for potentially this executive order. And when I asked her about this, she really tried to hammer home that this is going to be narrow in scope. And this line really stuck out to me. She said prohibitions with these would not be broad controls that would affect U.S. investment broadly in China, or in my opinion, have a fundamental impact on affecting in the investment climate for China. So, Jonathan, when it comes to this executive order, it does seem like she's trying to quell down some concerns that her Chinese counterparts maybe had about further escalation when it comes to the economic front between Washington and Beijing.
You've touched on that division between the United States and China. Let's talk about potential division within the administration. MH, how is the Treasury Secretary balancing her economic objectives with national security concerns elsewhere in Washington?
Well, I think this comes down to the heart of the matter of what we're talking about right now, the outbound investment. It's supposed to be done, Jenny Lender and I reported, the end of July. Potentially it slips. I'm told that it will be done this summer. But this is something that the President's National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, called for 2 years ago, almost to the date. It's more than 2 years. It was July of 2021. In this speech, he talked about, and it took the administration 2 years. They're obviously dealing with what businesses want to see in terms of their relationship on the economic front with China and in terms of the national security concerns. So when you talk about the national security concerns, the secretary has made it very clear. She gave this China speech recently about how that is paramount, even when it comes ahead of
Down.
what could be beneficial for the United States. And that
Fuck.
leads to another topic we discussed, and that is tariffs. And she said that review is still underway, and she said China just hasn't fixed the trade irregularities when it comes to tariffs, which is why the Trump-era tariffs under the Biden administration are still in place. This was a big debate, Jonathan, remember, when inflation was raging on whether or not they would lift those tariffs, potentially give a little bit more breathing room for the consumer. And in the end, they opted not to. And it's going to be much harder to even consider any sort of lift or maybe de-escalation. The Treasury Secretary says they're trying to find areas of de-escalation ahead of the 2024 presidential election. Because at that point, the Biden administration needs to talk and look tough on China when every other Republican candidate is going to come out really wanting to take a swing at Beijing.
MH, brilliant conversation. Great work as always. Bloomberg's Anne-Marie Hordern down in Washington, D.C. in conversation with US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen over in India. I suggest you all take a deeper look at that interview if you have a little bit of time a little bit later. You can find it on Bloomberg.com and on the Bloomberg terminal if you're a subscriber. Overnight, we had some data out of China. Worse than expected. Listen to this. Citi cut its forecast on growth in China. Morgan Stanley did the same. So did JP Morgan. SocGen went to 5% from 5.5% and wrote this. This can only be achievable if the government continues to step up easing measures. Matt Miskic, Colin Martin still with us. Colin, your base case for stimulus out of China, what is it now?
Well, to be honest, John, we focused on the fixed income side more domestically here. But when we look at China, what it means for our markets and the global economy is what is that long-term growth outlook? And we're going to see there and maybe what it means for the dollar. But if growth is slowing, that can trickle into many other global economies, and that can have impacts on the dollar. If we talk about the dollar, you see changing interest rate differentials based on what the Fed's doing and what other central banks are doing. But then you also have the counter-cyclical aspect based on what growth rates are. So we're looking really, what is that growth outlook there? What does it mean either overseas or abroad? And what will that mean for the value of the dollar and how it impacts monetary policy going forward?
The outlook has got worse, not better, that's for sure. Ms. Lav Mateka of JP Morgan running this morning. The region is sliding back into deflation, and the property market will likely need a much more aggressive policy support to rebound sustainably. Given past excesses, we stay cautious on China. Matt, we mentioned this, what's happening abroad. Growth in China's disappointed. Germany's in recession. Yet this euro's stronger, this dollar's weaker. Matt, can you help us understand that?
I feel like I'm in the movie Big, where he's sitting there, he's like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand why the dollar is weakening so much on this, other than inflation's down. It's almost like algorithmic trading or machine learning or like artificial intelligence, where wherever you hear lower inflation, you just sell the dollar. Like that's just the trade. And last week it came in huge, down 2.5%. But if you look at the macro data, the U.S. data held up well. NFIB, initial jobs claims down, but then you had the Germans missed, the Centix missed, the industrial production missed, in China exports and imports missed, even in Japan machine tool orders missed, and yet the U.S. dollar was sold off, and even interest rate differentials don't seem to matter much because the 10-year is actually staying elevated, and European yields are coming down a bit. Euro USD is still staying strong. So for us, this is basically everything's focused on inflation. It's missing the growth story here that is really actually going to be a huge impact in the back half of this year. We actually are relatively positive on the dollar. I get it. It's sold off. I get it. It's all part of the same trade of risk on. Dollar down, everything up has been the cross correlation, cross asset. But in time, we think that this speculative run in some of these pockets of the market is going to reverse, and the dollar actually could get a bid in the second half.
I sense you want to fade it all. Matt, I can hear you, but you've also heard other people say the following. It's time to get out of what's happening in US tech. It's time to see this market broaden out, this rally broaden, maybe back to Europe. Again, let's take a second look at some of the cyclicals there. Matt, what's your message for them this morning?
So earnings out of Europe thus far, I mean, we got Richemont, we had BASF out of European cyclicals. They both got it down and have organic revenue decline. In the U.S., it's still holding up okay. We like U.S. quality over cyclicals abroad. That's been our positioning, and to us, that is the lowest risk out of the options in the equity universe. We do try to have a valuation lens. We're looking a little bit more mid-cap in the U.S. where you can drop the multiple pretty significantly. But overall, we think the U.S. is the highest quality market in a late cycle environment. That's where you want to hide out.
Richmond down 9% in Swiss trading. Matt, thank you, sir. Matt Metzger, Colin Martin. To the two of you, thank you. Equities a little softer with negative 0.05% on the S&P. The opening bell 7 minutes away. Coming up, the morning calls and later, Joanne Feely, who advises capital management, joins us around the opening bell ahead of earnings from Bank of America and Morgan Stanley tomorrow. And it's on to Goldman Sachs on Wednesday.
Most of the large Chinese technology companies, let's say Alibaba, Baidu, Tencent, they have gigantic market values and they're very prominent in China, not as prominent outside of China as obviously in China, and certainly not that prominent in the United States. TikTok, by contrast, is not in China, but it's gigantic outside of China, the United States and everywhere. What did TikTok do that enabled a Chinese-based company, parent company at least, to do so well outside of China?
We think it's challenging to build a global company in general, but the best ones we've seen so far are ones that take very consistent global learnings and adapt them to the local countries that they are operating in. So you need to be global and local at the same time.
We're coming off the best of a week of gains on the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq in about a month. We're pretty much unchanged right now on the S&P, slightly positive on the Nasdaq. As the price action, let's get some morning calls. Citi downgrading AT&T to neutral, expecting the industry's historical use of lead cabling to remain an overhang. Goldman upgrading Yelp to buy, pointing to improving digital advertising trends and stabilizing margins. And finally, Morgan Stanley raising his Apple price target to 220, seeing better growth coming out of India. We're positive there by 0.4%. Coming up, investors gearing up for a busy week of earnings. More from the big banks plus big tech results on deck. That conversation coming up very shortly with Joanne Feely, who advises capital management. Your opening bell just around the corner.